Most SaaS founders fail before they even start. Why? They either build the wrong thing or they burn themselves out building it the wrong way. In 2025, it doesn't have to be like that. My name is Imran Gardezi, and I spent over 15 years shipping software at every level. From deploying servers on cruise ships, to scaling Shopify's mobile apps used by millions, to building virtual reality training platforms for Pfizer, to financial systems at Brex, which handle billions in transactions. I've lived through every gauntlet. From validating ideas, grinding through release cycles, fixing bugs at 3 AM, and scaling systems under real world load. I know what it takes to turn fragile code into software that survives. And now I bring that muscle to founders. I help turn your expertise into products that actually make money. Not just working prototypes, but systems that can scale. Systems that run without you, that deliver your expertise at leverage, and that build equity in your business. Today I'm going to show you how I build SaaS in 2025 alongside AI. Not theory, not hacks. This is the playbook I use with my own clients. We're going to follow 5 simple steps. Research, validate your tech stack, how you build, and how you launch. To make it real, I'll use a fitness coaching app as an example. Why fitness? Because the world does not need another fitness app, which makes it the perfect test case. If you can make that stand out, you can make anything work. All right, step 1, research. This is where most SaaS projects die. The founders skip this step and dive straight into code. They spend 6 months building features no one asked for, and then they quit. In 2025, we don't have to make that mistake. We can use AI to accelerate research. But AI is not a replacement for judgment. It's a research assistant. You still need to think. So let's use our fitness coaching app. A coach's business lives and dies on adherence. If clients check in, they stick around. If they don't, the coach loses money. So the jobs to be done are obvious. We want fast client check-ins and a dashboard that spots risks early. Now this logic can apply to anywhere because all we're doing is identifying a pain and figuring out how do we squash it. So for a CRM, you can replace check-ins with deal updates. For scheduling, you can replace it with booking friction. And for payments, you can replace it with failed charges. Different markets, same principle, but you want to research the pain in that industry before you touch the keyboard. And here's how. We've got tools at our fingertips now, like Perplexity or ChatGPT. Honestly, Perplexity is the one I go to every damn time. And I'll ask Perplexity, hey, what do coaches complain about when managing clients online? I want you to search through YouTube, Reddit, any forum where coaches or people looking for fitness advice would exist. In minutes, I've got 50 real complaints. Check-ins are too clunky, photos get lost in WhatsApp, there's no clear trend view, and you can turn that into a pain table. Column 1, the pain. What's going on? 2, how often are people complaining about it? Just list the frequency. And column 3, the revenue impact. How disastrous is this for the coach's business? Now you're going to know what's worth solving, and you're going to be able to collect customer language, which is so important because these exact quotes are going to become your marketing and landing page copy later. So what we want to do is open up Perplexity and it'd be greeted here. Again, it's like a chatbot, any chat AI. And we're just going to we're going to brainstorm what problems we can solve. Say, hey, we want to help coaches in the fitness industry manage their clients and help their clients adhere to staying on track and checking in regularly. But before we can do so, we need to validate the pains on both sides as to whether, there's certain core issues that keep cropping up. We want to build a pain matrix. So again, we just want to build like a table of all our pain points. So if we think back here, we want to track the pain, the frequency, the impact, and the quote. So we're going to take this and actually let's just copy this because this actually helps. We want to do this. We want to track pain. What problem? Let's just explain this a bit more. What problem are they either facing? Frequency. We want to dive into how often does this come up with other people. Impact. We really want to know what's the actual impact here. It can be financial or whatever, but let's stick with financial. How much impact does this problem have on the coach's business financials. And finally, quote, we need to aggregate as much information and just know what people are saying and know what people are saying and complaining about. Please return a format that we can leverage in a pane table using the columns above. We want to search deep and wide here. So search deep and wide across Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere people have a loud voice when it comes to managing clients, when it comes to fitness and client expectations. Cool. So this should do a really good trick. And what's interesting here with Perplexity is you have a regular search, which is fine, but we want to do the deep research. So deep research is an option here. You usually get a few credits here. Thankfully, I've got a few remaining, but you can upgrade to Pro if you want to. It's only like $20 a month. It's really well worth it because I'll show you why. We're going to let this run and it's going to take a few minutes. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to go deep on all these sources. It's going to search really wide. And what Perplexity is good for, it's not like just ChatGPT where it just hallucinates. They've trained this to act like a PhD researcher. So if you remember university when you had to citate all this shit, it's still going to do the same. It's going to find exact sources where people have actually said, hey, this is a problem. It's going to pull that data and then we're going to get it. So as you can see here, we're getting some results back. So let's see, we're getting from Trainda, from NHFA. Let's see. Some of these might actually be like reputable institutions. So National Health and Fitness Academy sounds pretty legit. So as you can see here, it's going through so many different sources and pulling out so much information, which is going to be so valuable for the problem we're trying to solve, because we'll be able to reference this later if we need to for marketing content, but also we're literally researching the problem. We're getting all the information out. And this saves you having to Google and deep dive and click in. This agent in Perplexity will do this for you. And this is what step one is about. It's about using AI cleverly to automate the research process so you can move faster. While this runs, you can go make a cup of coffee and come back and you have enough information to know how to hit the ground running on whatever idea you have in mind. So now, wait a little while, see what's going on here. All right, awesome. So here we go. So based on extensive research across Reddit, industry publications, and financial business resources, blah, 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 we found 15 critical pain points. Okay, interesting. Client no-shows and last-minute cancellations, inconsistent income and revenue instability. Okay. You can kind of run through here. Now, what we want to do is like give some context. So all we did really now is just find some pain points in the industry and how they manage their clients. But we need to get a bit deeper here because we need to give it some context over what we are trying to build. This is awesome. We are planning to build some software solution to alleviate client check-in issues and help coaches, manage their clients better. Is there anything here related to the online coaching space? Perfect. We'll let that run for a bit. And that's going to get us some more information. We're going to get more granular. So we kind of did a Brett White search. We just want to know generally in the industry. Now we want to dive in and see, okay, we got an idea baked in our brains. Let's see if there's actually some merit to it. So let's see. As you can see, it's already getting some online fitness coach check-in system problems, virtual personal training, client tracking issues, remote fitness coaching, communication breakdowns. Perfect. This is what we want. We want to find all this kind of data. And again, it's going to go super wide here. It's going to get us plenty of information. And we'll let this wrap up. And again, what's interesting here is you see the sources in the top. We're getting more and more sources. Again, it's like a PhD researcher. It's getting all that information for you. Your market research is being completed here and it's helping you hit the ground running. You're not going to have to send out random surveys and knock on doors immediately. You can just hit the ground running and figure out, hey, is there any merit to this idea that I have right now? All right. As you can see here, it's doing us an even better job. It's running a Python script, which Python is a coding language. And what that does is it generates us a file, which is a CSV file, which is what we want for our Google Sheet. So while that runs, I'm actually going to get that ready. I'm going to just create a new sheet. And we're going to call this our coaching app pain matrix. Just so we can keep record of this and it's outside of our system. Awesome. So there we go. Perfect. Client check-in, non-compliance, and inconsistency. Exactly what we're looking for. Maintaining client motivation, accountability without physical presence. This can go into some email coaching abilities we have later. And yeah, lots of stuff here. This is awesome. Okay, cool. Now we're actually going to do here is going to take the matrix that it spat out, which is awesome. Okay, great. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come into here, paste it so we have it here. Obviously, it's a bit of a bad format. We're also going to do is actually save the output. So docs.new. And what we want to do is just save this output because we're going to use this later, okay? So we want to know the output of our research. So we're just going to say coaching app, research. And again, we're not even coding right now. We're just getting research on what we want. And look at all these sources that come true. This is perfect. We have this for reference later. You can keep create a master doc. This can be like your living document of how you evaluate your process later. And that's what we'll actually do. We call this market research. Let's just call it coaching app, living doc, or coaching app master doc. And what we might do is we might add some more document tabs here later, which is perfect. Okay. This is awesome. So we got all this stuff. We got all the references to things. This is great. We got all the pain matrices. Now we have finished step one, which is research the user's pain points and get market research on the problem we're trying to solve. Now, step two, validate. In our previous step, we did AI research and we got lots of signals. But before we can move forward, we need to prove these signals, and validation is going to give you that proof. This step is simple. We're going to start talking to humans. We're going to send out 10 DMs, find coaches nearby, find coaches anywhere, online, LinkedIn, Instagram, it doesn't matter. The message is simple. Hey, I'm building a tool for 15-second check-ins and dashboards. Can I learn what you hate about your current setup? If nobody replies, that's good data. The problem might not be painful enough. If 2 or 3 say yes, you're in business. And while you're doing this, prove you're real. Build a landing page. Now, what's important? These landing pages are not about sexy design or crazy animations. It's about 3 things. Your proof of seriousness, for capturing interest, and displaying a clear offer. Think of it like this. It's a receipt. You're saying, I heard your pain, I built something for it, and here's how you try it. For fitness coaching, it can be simple. We're just going to say, hey, 15-second check-ins, weekly dashboards, early warning alerts. We can swap the market here. For dealing with a CRM, it could be deal updates in seconds, pipeline risk alerts. For scheduling, it could be one-click booking, no back and forth. It's the same formula. We have a pain solved and a benefit promised. Now, when you're building this out, we're going to just keep it simple. We're going to have a hero section on top, a headline, a one-line subtext, and a call to action like join the pilot or join the waitlist, whatever wording. Underneath, just have a screenshot mockup. You can generate this in ChatGPT or whatever. It can be fake, but the idea is to just visualize what you're trying to build. And then add a 60-second loom, just walking through the flow. Just record yourself going through the problems that you've identified and how you plan to solve them. This isn't about virality, it's about showing 10 people you're building something real. 2 pilots are going to beat 200 likes, and that is real validation. You want to get these people on board and be like, yes, we want this, and then you can go. So we want to prove our interest fast. So let's build a landing page here, and let's think through the copy, right? So again, we want a hero section. At the top, we want a strong title, we want a one-line subtext, and we want a call to action like join the pilot. We want to have some sort of image that conveys what we're trying to build, whether some sort of AI generated mock-up, and a 60-second loom video, just kind of working through the workflow. And we have this master doc here. We can take this information, we can run it to ChatGPT, and we're going to just be like, okay, hey, we're working on fleshing out a landing page for our potential coaching app. So what we're going to do is we're going to just, So we're going to come in here and we're going to say, hey, we want to build a coaching app that helps fitness coaches manage their clients and their clients check in more easily. Perfect. We've identified some pain points, and research here. And again, we have quotes here, which is going to be critical right now. So now we have research. We have, I guess, so now we have this research. Now we have this research. We want to think of a plan, want to think up a plan for a marketing landing page. Needs to convey the following: what we're trying to solve, what problem we're targeting, how we plan to fix it, and how we're going to roll it out, I guess. Basically, we just want to like get something to quickly get their attention, show them what we're doing, and communicate this out. So think hero section, title, subtitle, talk about pain and how we solve. We want to capture emails, and we also want to have a mock-up prototype image we can show of a mobile app for client check-ins, and yeah, a dashboard for coach review. Perfect. Let's build a technical plan doc that we can use to build a landing page. Think perfect. Actually, we let that run. So as that's building, we are now like thinking through how we can like use the quotes using all that data, and it's going to like go through and build a technical plan. I actually didn't mention, I'm going to say this. Hey, make sure to use the quotes cleverly so we can target their messaging and wording. Keep the sentences short and to the point. Perfect. We're gonna let that run. It's awesome. Now what I want to talk to you about, like how we're going to build this. Now there's many ways you can build this. There's so many different landing page tools you can use. As an engineer, I'm going to build one, and what I'm going to use is I'm going to use two tools. I'm going to use Next.js because it can spin up a quick landing page, and I'm going to use a thing called SheetDB, which basically turns a Google Sheet into a database, and I can pipe data so that the user enters their email, it'll go straight to our SheetDB, and we can capture that information. So this is perfect. So let's see what we got here. Never chase client check-ins again. Clients forget, you get stuck chasing. We fix that. One place, one process. No, let's go with 15-second check-ins and alerts on clients falling behind. Yeah, something like that. It'll think it through. But anyway, while that runs, we know we have like a plan. Perfect. Instant alerts, zero chasing. This is great. This is actually really good. Client skip, data scatters, you get alerts before it becomes a problem. Perfect. Okay, cool. So make sure it's targeted to fitness coaches too, by the way, because we want to make sure that, you know, the fitness element is in here. All right, awesome. So we're almost there now. Perfect. Gonna let that keep going, and we're gonna get a final copy and so forth. So as you can see here, what we're gonna do is we're just iterating on some copy just to get something up and out the ground. And again, we've been at this for like 15 minutes, so it's not been a whole length of time. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna build the landing page, and there's two tools we want to use here. Well, I'm going to use. I recommend them because they're super easy. So we got SheetDB. So SheetDB, very simple, turn a Google spreadsheet into a JSON API. What this means is any Google spreadsheet you want, you can hook any app into it and it'll basically pipe data to it, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log in here. I actually have one created before, but I'm just going to create another one just so we have a clean one. And I'm going to say create new spreadsheet and say coach app waitlist. Perfect, because we just want to create a waitlist. Awesome. Once we create that, it's going to ask us for some columns we want to store. So we want to track username, email, and existing tools they use. Let's just say existing tools. This is perfect. So we want to get actually, like, if they can provide us with tools they're already using, we'll be able to research those later too, which is awesome. So create that. Great. Now we have this little link here, which is perfect, right? So now I'm going to come back to ChatGPT and be like, hey, this is awesome. This is awesome. Now we're going to build this with Next.js, and SheetDB to capture our waitlist data. Can you give us a mock of what the tool could look like so we can have that in the landing page? And also let's plan the technical implementation. Now, what's nice about ChatGPT is you can actually plan this out like a product requirements documentation, or even a technical design documentation, where you're just like actually getting all the information of what you want to do, and you just put it in. We're just going to get one big doc, and once we have that big doc, then we can like reference that in the code and with our LLMs to help build this out. So we're going to use a SheetDB. I say we're using SheetDB. Here is our API link. And let's make it easy for it too. Let's actually get the documentation. So if I go to sheetdb.io and I go to the documentation and I just go to quick start, perfect. What I'm actually just gonna copy paste all this because this is perfect. This will give us all the information we need. Here are the docs. Here are the docs. And we just want a simple Next.js application to run this in. And we'll just go, 9 times out of 10, most of these AI tools know all about Next.js. But if you're not familiar, Next.js is basically one of the most popular React frameworks for the web. And it just makes life easier to build for you because you get so much stuff out of the box. And it's just a nice framework to build with. If you're building raw code and you're doing it yourself, I 100% recommend this. There are other options. I prefer to opt with this because right now, all these LLMs, they're optimized to use these popular tools. And as more people use them, they get more popular. So I choose to go with the tools that are popular with LLMs because it makes my life easier to go faster because they're already being indexed on all the documentation and the use cases. So what we're going to do is get started. Boom. Okay, cool. What is Next.js? Yeah, this is fine. Step-by-step tutorials, all this. I've already done this before, but what we really want to do is we just want to know, hey, how do I get started? And I'm giving this because I'm just going to show you how I can build this out without touching a line of code. And this will be applicable later because we will do the same thing for the Coach web app as well as using Expo for the client mobile app. You'll see that soon. So here is the getting started docs for Next.js. Now I want you to flesh out our PRD tech design doc for our LLM so that we can hit the ground running. I'll pass it off to Claude, Code, or Cursor, which we'll get into shortly. Awesome. So again, you see here, a lot of this, like before we even build, we've only used pretty much 2 tools. Perplexity for research, ChatGPT for just building up the plan. We're going out there, fetching information, coming back, telling it what we want to use, and we're just building it out. And we can just use tools like this because it just makes so much more sense to build out a plan before you just jump in and say, hey, build me a landing page. We actually want to think like, what are we connecting it to? What tool are we using? Why are we using it this way? Now, there's so many different tools you could use. You could just go vibe code this on something else like Lovable or something. Might be quicker. This is the way I choose to do it because I like the control. All right, awesome. Okay, cool. This is great. Awesome. So what we're going to do now is I copied all this information, which is great because we now have, let's just run through it. Yeah. Coach dashboard, mockups. We actually don't have the mockups right now, but that's okay. I'm going to ask it to be like, hey, give me a mockup image. Do I need to say add image? Let's see if you can just give it to me. All right, awesome. I'll get that image. So I've copy pasted that. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to jump to the tool that is going to help us build this. So I opt for using Cursor. If you're not familiar with Cursor, engineers use these things called IDEs, Integrated Development Environments. And right now, Cursor is winning the game when it comes to AI. Oh, hang on. Interesting. Cursor is winning the game when it comes to AI because as you can see, it is the AI code editor. And it's built to make you extraordinarily productive. And Cursor is the best way to code with AI. And to be honest, as a beginner, I 100% agree. You can go lovable, but if you want to get into the code and have control, this is perfect because you'll be able to see the code that's written, you'll be able to edit it manually, and you'll also be able to let AI take the driver's seat when needed. So I'd recommend you download, get that set up. The instructions are there. I'm not going to go into it because there's no point. But once you get it set up and open, you come here and you can see, as you can see here, we're already in a directory called coaching app, right? Now what I want to do is I want to add a new file. I'm going to say my plan, or actually let's create a plan. So let's say plan and say landing page. And I'm going to save it as markdown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass in what I have here. Perfect. That's all my content from ChatGPT, which is awesome. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to talk to this little agent here on the right, and it's going to let me use a bunch of models. I'm using Claude for Sonnet because honestly, it's probably one of the best. And we're just going to be like, hey, we have a plan for a landing page. All the spec is laid out. And what's really nice, you can add and reference this plan now. So I can just go plan/landing page, boom, it's there. Let's create a Next.js project under landing page in this repo and run through the specs. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure it runs correctly. Please be sure that lint and type checking works and follow documentation to a T. Now, another thing I'm going to show you is what's really nice is you can reference at the web with Cursor if you want to look up the web, or you can actually reference docs. And I have some docs for Next.js already. I want to use Next.js docs. And what I also can get is I can get the SheetDB docs, and I'm going to go to SheetDB and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to click documentation. I'm going to click here and I'm going to go do @docs. I'm going to add a new doc. I'm going to add it in here. I'm going to call it SheetDB and confirm. And now anytime I want to reference SheetDB later, I can just do @SheetDB and I get all the documentation. So what I did before, as you saw in ChatGPT, is I paste all the docs in to help flesh this out. You can do that, or you can also just do that here. I like to do this because it's good to like let Cursor know, hey, the docs are here if you run into any issues, so you can help run with it. The docs for the tools we are using are here. Let's get started. Also, we want to show a mock-up as well. Here is the image. Or actually, I'll upload the image. I'll upload the image into plan.landing mockup.jpg. So we don't have it in here yet, but before we kick that off, we're going to come back to ChatGPT. Where are you? Did I close it? No, there it is. Oh, perfect. Awesome. This is great. This actually looks pretty good. Here's a mock-up of what we're trying to build. Client check-in, boom, great. This will do. I'm pretty happy with this. Going to download that and we're going to open it and we're going to move it into our page here. I'm going to rename it and I'm going to say landing mockup. Perfect. We move it under plan and we reference it here. Also want to show mockup as well. The image is, you can move this into the repo and rename if it makes sense. Awesome. So now you can see what we did here. We did spend so much time doing our market research. We spent so much time validating how we can build a landing page, and we took all that data and then we went through ChatGPT, we iterated, and now we have enough context to build something that should target the pain points of the people we were talking, or of the people we want to talk to, but based on research of mass fucking search with across the internet, across so many different sources to find what we want. So letting that run, you can kind of watch it here. What's nice about Cursor is you will see, and a lot of these AI tools are the same. There's Claude Code, which I'll get into a bit later when we go into a bit more advanced stuff. But you can see it breaks the task down into to-dos, breaks down to little bite-sized checkpoints, and starts doing things systematically. It's going in there, it's creating, it's running in here, it's setting up the foundation. Okay, perfect. Yeah, in coaching app, this is what we want. And it's creating a next app with landing page. Perfect. Setting it as a TypeScript object as we want, using Tailwind, ESLint, all the good stuff. And as you can see here, it's being added here to the left. So see how that's just doing it for us. And this is wild. And as an engineer, I could do this myself, but this is setting up boilerplate and it's a waste of fucking time. I could just get this to do it, and I can think through the problem, and I can talk through the problem. And it's better for me to spend that time researching what I want to build rather than just setting up the foundation and trying to jump to it later. And then I could just get it going. So yeah, we'll let this run for a bit. It shouldn't take too long. It's creating all the required components. Awesome. Yep. Hero, problem, solution, rollout, waitlist form. We'll see how it looks once it's done. What's nice here is it's structured as well, and React's pretty nice because it's structured in a very easy way to fashion. You can see things linearly. We're going to have the hero at the top, the problem, the solution, the rollout, waitlist form, footer, CTA. Might look a bit funky. I'll be interested to see what the layout is like. But I mean, for now, it's fine. We don't have to tweak it too much. This is just showing you how you can get this up and running. We can see exactly the code is coming through. Might be gobbledygook for a lot of you guys, but for the people who are engineering, might not be. But the thing is, you don't actually have to worry too much about this. You can figure it out. Obviously, as an engineer, I can go in and fine tune if I need to, but as anybody else, this is handling it pretty well. Okay, it's using some icons for icons. Give it a few minutes. Now, while this is running, what we also want to do is I want to be able to deploy this landing page once it's ready. And to deploy it, what I actually recommend people using is a tool called Vercel. So Vercel is great because it's actually backed by the same people who back Next. And what you can do is you can basically use this to just deploy apps. And what's funny is I actually built a coach waitlist earlier, and I'll show you. I deployed it here, and I'll show you. It's like literally one line. You kick it off, and you're done. And just going to give you a preview what that could look like. Here you go. Transform your coaching with AI-powered insights. Join the waitlist for coaching platform that helps you deliver personalized guidance, track progress, and scale your impact like never before. Bit different messaging. This isn't the one we're going with, but I'm just showing you, hey, this was done. So jump back. This is running true. This is great. Actually, what we can do in the meanwhile is we can actually tie and set up Vercel right now. So Vercel has a pretty easy follow setup. So vercel.com docs. So you can come into documentation and getting started here. You can just kind of run through it. Loads of different ways, but what you want to do is go to the getting started step before you begin. You want to set up an account, log in. So the usual stuff, just come to vercel.com, set all this up, go through it. And then you want to install it in your terminal, which is fine. And then, yeah, once that's actually installed in the terminal, it's really easy. So once you run through all the steps, set it up, you'll come into the terminal, you'll pick your package manager. Most of the time, probably you're using NPM. You might be using PNPM otherwise, but you can take this. You can launch it in any terminal actually because it's going to be installed globally. Run that and that'll basically install Vercel across, I guess you could call it your computer. But what's good about this then is you can just deploy it. So Vercel, let me just make sure I'm logged into the right account. Vercel, log in. Awesome. Okay, now I can log into Vercel, my Google account, log under my email address. Awesome. Use my passkey because I'm a secure motherfucker. And awesome. Okay, now we're in. And now you can see we're authenticated. This is awesome. So what we're going to do is Vercel. We're going to get this set up. Yeah, do we want to set up and deploy? Yes, we do. We'll get this running. So while the app is building, we'll be able to deploy it immediately. So I can run to my project, link to an existing project. No, we want to create a new one. Coaching app demo. Perfect. My thing is landed in landing page. Perfect. Actually, what we'll do is we'll actually CD into landing page and we'll do it there. Perfect. Yep. Yep. And no. Coaching app landing page. Perfect. Perfect. It's here. Do you want to modify these settings? Nope. Do you want to use the deployment? Nope. What setting do you want to use for Vercel authentication standard? Okay, cool. I'll let that link. And what's funny is as we did that, this says it is now ready to use. And it says it is running on localhost 3000. Perfect. So we click this, open our browser, and let's see what landing page we have. 15-second check-ins, instant alerts, zero chasing, clients forget, you waste hours chasing. We fix that. Join the waitlist. This looks pretty good. The problem every coach faces, client check-ins are scattered, inconsistent, and time-consuming to manage. One client logs in a notes app, another text, a third forgets. I spent 2-3 hours of blah, blah. Inconsistent. Again, real quotes that we would have taken from our pain points. Solutions that work. 15-second check-ins, centralized progress, and smart alerts. Our rollout plan, waitlist and interviews, beta access, public launch. This is awesome. Letting people know what we're planning on doing. So we want to join the waitlist, get people in, and get our interviews going. So you can join the waitlist here, or you can click here. I'm pretty sure we'll just navigate us down. Yep, awesome. I'm going to say Imran, say my email, and coaching focus. What am I focused on? Oh, this is interesting. We didn't ask for this, but hey, it is what it is. Join the waitlist. Awesome, you're on the waitlist. So obviously, this is meant to be saved somewhere. So what we want to do now is we actually want to go to our Google Sheets. Let's go to SheetDB. Let's go to our dashboard, and let's actually click on, I believe it's this one, and see, okay, we have one entry. Awesome, it's been posted. Let us see, can we see the table snippets, form snippets, settings, dun, dun, dun. I think we actually need to go to the spreadsheet, sorry. So we're gonna go to the spreadsheet and see, boom, our information came in. Now what happened is we didn't actually capture existing tools. This is interesting. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take a screenshot of this, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna be like, hey, our third column in our sheet DB is for tracking coaches' existing tools. You didn't capture this, and we want to capture this information as a optional and input box for coaches to tell us what other tools they're using. Please make it clear so to them that we would love to hear about what they're currently using. Awesome. So actually I'm gonna let that run. And you'll notice here that when we launched this was on localhost, kind of sucky. Because now we can only access this on our computer, but what we can do instead is Vercel. And again, we set up Vercel, but if you run Vercel again every time, it'll basically deploy the latest code. This might actually fail because we have code in progress, so give it a sec, see if it runs. In the meantime, I'm actually gonna stop it until our code is done running because there's no point me deploying till that's ready. Awesome, okay. Yep, exactly. And again, I specified it to always check for lint errors and test the build because this is important. This is lint errors and type checking errors are basically code quality errors that get flagged or just improper uses of code that basically means that if the app runs, it can crash. So we want to make sure all those errors are fixed before we deploy, before we run, so that we know that, hey, they're ruled out. Now there's obviously crashes that can still happen, but these are ones that should not happen. And we want AI to not have to ship that. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to run this. Did my thing freeze? Looks like it froze. Interesting. I'm going to close that off and I'm going to try it again. Perfect. So I'm in landing page. I'm going to run it. Just make sure that this is running. And while this runs, I'm going to deploy it so that we have it on the thing, on the server. So as you can see, I'm doing some monkey magic with the terminal, but basically I'm going to the location where our landing page is and I want to run Vercel on this so that this part of the code runs and deploys. And then we also obviously deployed it locally. Awesome, current tools. Now we don't actually track coaching focus, which is interesting. We don't track coaching focus, but let's add this as a field, coaching focus. And I'll add it to our sheet DB. Great idea. Awesome. So just want to make sure that this is actually being passed to this particular key when we load it. And what we'll do is we can come into sheet DB and I'm going to come back in here, settings, my settings, no, it's form snippets, table snippets, cache, details. Where do I edit this now? Might actually just need to do it. It might be as simple as me just putting it into the spreadsheet, to be honest. Okay, cool. See coaching focus, perfect. And we'll actually swap these around because we want to have that in order. Perfect, awesome. I'm going to close this off a bit because I have a lot of open tabs. Sweet, sweet. Perfect. I'm going to come back here It was storing it as focus, which is interesting, but coaching focus is fine. Now we'll actually track it there. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to run dev again. I'm going to come in here, run Vercel. I'm going to let that run just so it shows how we can deploy this. And once it's deployed, it's essentially live. It means you can literally take this link and you can just share it to your friends, which is what we want, right? We wanted a landing page deployed, capturing information that we can just post on the internet. Obviously, the domain and things looks a bit shady, but actually it's not really shady. It's just more just looks weird. But this is going to be done in a few seconds. Vercel is running the build. And what this is doing is deploying it onto vercel.com so that with a public URL that you can, again, just share with whoever you want, which is, perfect. Okay, get in there. Come on, let's go. Awesome. Okay, cool. So that's deployed and it is on coaching app landing page.vercel.app. Awesome. So we will just come here. Actually, I'll open a new tab. And there you go. It's on a public URL. You can literally take this and share this, and you can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Instagram, you can DM personal trainers. You be like, hey, I'm building this tool. Are you interested? Let's rock and roll. And this is what you can see. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a client check-in app. Yada, yada, yada. Again, we talked about recording like a 60-second Loom video. You could record that and put that here and have like a VSL to kind of explain the problem. And yeah, they can come through here, join the waitlist. So again, Imran plus test.mo. Oh, hang on. Imran. And my coaching focus. Oh, interesting. We lost the... Why isn't this loaded? We lost the existing tools. How come we aren't tracking the existing tools? How come existing tools isn't available as an option? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll let that fix it real quick. Let me check the local one and see if it's up there. Oh, interesting. It's here, which is fine, but okay, cool. Okay, going to deploy that again. Preview launch here. Give it a few minutes, it'll build. And so yeah, like these are ways you can just like pretty much see how I didn't actually write a single line of code. Didn't write a single line of, didn't like have to hire a market researcher. Didn't have to hire anyone to do like immediate customer interviews. I was able to get information from various sources, put it together, find the pain points, spin up a landing page, and now I'm good to go and actually approach people. And now I have some merit to what I'm trying to do, which is good because now I have the market research I can talk to, and I also have something I can show. So I'm not just being like, hey, Mr. Smith or whatever the fuck your name is, I'm building an app, are you interested? You actually have something to show, and you're way more credible now because you've actually validated your problem and you've actually went out there. So awesome. So come in here, yeah, cool. Imran plus live at Mo, or say Imran live. Imran plus live at Mo. Awesome. Coaching focus, fitness, yeah. My fitness, yeah, let's just say Excel. Because everyone's on a fucking Excel spreadsheet these days. Join the waitlist. Boom, you're on the waitlist. Are we on the waitlist? Yes, we are. And as you can see, now you have your Google Sheet is tracking this information. So you can send out these DMs. You can start getting into pilots, and you can actually figure out how to get people interested. All right. And that's the end of step 2. Now, step 3, you have to think through your tech stack. This is where founders can waste weeks debating frameworks. They can be spinning their wheels, wondering what tools should I use. They may not be engineers, so maybe they go with something vibe coding like Lovable or Bolt. Maybe they are engineers and they need to think what tech stack do they want to use. In my case, I have a very simple rule. And for 2025, the winning move is simple. Pick boring, reliable, and AI-friendly tech. You want tech that is being indexed by LLMs, that is being used and utilized, and the documentation makes it easy for you to go fast. Then, once you've identified what you want to use to build, you can start shipping. And here's my rule of thumb. You should also think about the context of what you want to build. If we're dealing with something where users have to perform actions in under 15 seconds, then let's go with a mobile app. If we're dealing with something where people need to review and analyze data, we need something like a web application. In fitness, we're going to have both of these. So for our app, our clients are going to check in on mobile and our webs are going to review on web. This means that we want to use something for our client app on mobile and something for our web app. In my case, this is what I always run with. I'm going to go with Expo and React Native for the mobile app. and I'm going to run Next.js for the coach dashboard. And for my backend, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to stick with Supabase, which just wraps everything I need, including a database, authentication, storage, and stuff I can run on the cloud. Now, if you swap the market, the same rules apply. Think of a CRM. Maybe we'd have some sort of mobile app for just entering deal updates and web for managing the pipeline. For scheduling, maybe there's a mobile component for booking. And for web, you can have calendar view. Again, the principle holds. You can have mobile for action, web for insight, but the important thing is you need to align what you're building for and what the platform is to the workflow that makes the most sense. The next step is to think through what the schema is. The principle holds: mobile for action, web for insight. The schema for coaching is simple. We just want to know what data we need to store. So in our case, we got to think through, okay, we're going to have a clients table where they're going to have their name, the coach ID that's associated, and what their goals are, and maybe a check-ins table to log their weight, mood, habits, and photo URL. So these are just stuff we need to think through about, like what we'll store in the database later. And it's important to think through this. It doesn't have to be overly technical. You can plan this out in something like an Excel spreadsheet. Just think about what the data you store and how you want it, because later that data is going to become a product in itself. And that's the foundation. This is really important because we want to optimize for choosing technologies to build our products that are leveraged to go fast with AI and help us get the job done as quickly as possible. For most of you, including myself, you're most likely solo builders. You might be taking it all on your own. So it's really important we choose tools that make it possible for us to focus on building the product and not dancing with a bunch of bullshit that we really just don't need. So for this reason, we want to pick boring, reliable technology. So as I go through the stack, I'm going to show you how I'm going to go with a mono repo structure so that I can easily maintain a mobile and a web code base in the same place and leverage reusable schemas so that the data types are similar between each. And as a result, it'll be easier for me to go fast without having to worry about breaking things. I'm going to talk about how we're going to use Supabase on the back end for handling the database, authentication, file storage, and there'll just be generally minimal configuration. Now, what Supabase is it's a backend as a service. What that means is they take all the hard work for you and give you all the tools you need to have a backend through easy to use APIs without having to worry about all the shit it takes to maintain them. So if you're curious about Supabase, I recommend you check out supabase.com. To be honest, for any backend of any code base, if you're just a small team or whatever, I recommend going with these guys. It's tried and tested, true technology built on Postgres, which is a database technology that is used at scale across so many companies. It is built to scale and it's built to go from ground zero and above. They take all the hard work off your plate and it's just super easy to get going. I fucking really recommend them. And then what we also want to do is we also want to keep things easy to use. So while we're talking to a database, we don't want to be writing these crazy SQL queries. We want to be able to make it easy for ourselves. We're going to leverage Prisma, which is an ORM, which basically maps SQL to TypeScript types that makes it easy for us to write to the database and read from the database in the same language that we're writing the rest of our features in our code. To kind of give you an architecture overview of what we're building today, right? We've already went through that we have a landing page. You guys have seen it. You can come here. You can see exactly. It's to the point, captures user information, joins the waitlist, show a mock-up, talk about all the problems every coach faces, all this stuff, has what rollout plan we're running with, and we're capturing all this data and we're piping it into a SheetDB database, which is effectively a Google Sheet to capture all that user information, which is awesome. So that's fine. And we built that in Next and we deployed it in Vercel. Similar technologies to what we want to do for the coach dashboard. We're going to build an admin interface using Next.js, and we're going to be able to leverage the same technology we're using the landing page to build this out. So again, same idea, same concept, web, all TypeScript, which is awesome. On mobile, we're taking a slightly different stance. We're still using React Native, we're using React, but it's true React Native. And we're using Expo on top of that. And what this is Expo takes away all the pains of building a mobile app in React Native. And React Native enables you to basically build one code base that you can deploy to Android and iOS. And the best part is, because it's written in React, it uses the same rules and procedures that you would on your web app in Next.js. And as a result, the code can be largely shared if you structure it correctly, which we're going to do. And as a result, you can have everything in TypeScript, which we'll get into. Our API routes are next. We need a means for our mobile app for the user to be able to check in on the app and that data to be pushed to the cloud, stored on the server in the database, and then the coaches can read that on the web app. So how we're going to do that is we're actually going to leverage a Next.js feature set called API routes. Normally, you just build a backend API and you would expose these. But because we're building a Next.js app, we can actually expose API routes that we want publicly so that our mobile app can connect through to the data, which would be awesome. And then again, we mentioned Prisma. It's going to be awesome for connecting to the database. Now, our stack principles, as you can imagine, are super clear. We want to pick boring over novel. We want to focus on building with one language, and we're using TypeScript end to end. And I mean it. For the mobile app, for the web app, even for a landing page, and we want to interact with the database, it's all through Prisma TypeScript types, which makes life so much easier. We can focus on going fast and shipping and not have to worry about all the boilerplate and all the crazy shit that is just pointless for us to think about right now. One database, one Postgres database, access via Supabase. And this means that there's one source of truth for the data, and we're not going to have to worry about data sync issues. It's all going to be one source. One API, all our APIs just going to be built on that web app, exposed through API routes. One repo, again, simple. We're keeping everything one repo. We're going to be working in one project. We're able to manage the web, mobile, and database level code all in one place. And again, we're always optimizing boring over novel. I can't say this enough. We really want to optimize for using tools where the docs are great, the developer experience is great, and there's a large community behind them. All the tools I'm using and showing you are tools that are tried and tested, open source, and the community loves. They have been used and recommended repeatedly by many AI tools, including ChatGPT, and not going with them just doesn't make sense. Okay, so when I talk about the mono repo layout, just to give you a high level structure, it's just like a folder structure. Open up any folder structure you'll see, and what we're going to have is one project. We'll have an apps folder. Underneath that, we'll have a web folder for our web code, mobile folder for our mobile code. Then we're going to have a packages folder where we can store shared Prisma schema and client server stuff. And then our models folder where we're going to basically list shared types that mobile and web can use. And we're also going to introduce a library called Zod. And Zod is going to be really important because what Zod is going to do, it's going to give us the ability to validate all the data relatively easy before we submit it and tie it to a schema. So tie it to a type so that when the user is entering information, we can make sure that they're entering in a number for their weight, or that they're entering in like something useful for the notes, and they're actually like flagging things right. But also that when we hit submit and we talk to the server, that we're sending data in the exact same format that the server expects, and we're going to build it in such a way that AI can't fuck that up because the schema will tell us errors in the code before we even deploy, so that AI has to fix them. And then because we have this tight restriction, it just makes it easier for us to go faster. So these are all little things you should just like think through. How going fast with AI is great, but what tools and technologies can I use that bring in these guardrails to just make it super fucking easy to really go fast? And that's my philosophy on this. Now, phase one, kind of boring. We got to do it. All right. We got to get our infrastructure set up. We got to get a web app code base up, a database package up, and a mobile thing set up, right? That's all right. We have all these web setup commands we can run through, which is fair enough. Okay. I've actually gone through and I built out a plan, which I'll go through in advance, which shows you how I broke down all our research from step 1 to step 2. And basically what we want to do with all the technology we have here, and I'll run through with you, it's just a doc from end to end. And then we're going to take that and we're going to start building out the app. Okay. Some database setup commands. These are just commands that are available. If you check out Supabase and Prisma, they're all available, but these commands generally useful, and we won't be running these, but we will set up scripts so that our AI is able to run them and get off the ground running. Okay. There's some mobile setup commands. Expo exposes these. If you go on the Expo website, you'll be able to see all these commands. These are all recommended for getting started, but these are just some commands for like helping get up to speed. Don't worry too much about it. Okay. What's really important, and we'll get into this and you'll see it soon, is as we're doing this, as we're making changes, we want to ship changes in small. We want to make all our changes to be single responsibility. What I mean is, if you make a change, you should be doing one thing and one thing only. And once it's done, save it. And what we use for this is Git. And Git is version control. Git is basically like when you used to go and play PlayStation and you have a memory card. It makes sure you save before you hit that boss that could possibly wipe you out, and you don't want to have to run a million miles through for about an hour through town. Okay, so Git checkpoints. I mean, it's really just, they're called Git commits, but just think of them like checkpoints. Every time you do something, you're going to commit. That means what you've done is now saved, and you can move on to the next. And if you fuck up at the next step, you can always go back, and you're not going to have this big delta where you decide to ship everything at once and then save that And if any of that breaks, you don't know what broke. Whereas if you ship things in small pieces and then commit, you'll be able to have an easy to follow track record. Now, step 4 is the fun part. We're gonna build. And this is where people can get it wrong. They can think that just because you use AI, it means you can just tell it to build the app in one shot, one go, and no repercussions. But AI isn't as autopilot as you think it is, but it is an accelerator. And here's a loop I go by. You want to define stuff atomically. And what I mean by that is define a tiny spec. Then you want to generate a draft for that spec. You want to break down the problem as much as you can. And then you want to test it live and then iterate fast. So for an example for a tiny spec for me is I want to focus on the client. I want to focus on their 15-second check-in form. I want to figure out what they want to track, which is their weight, maybe 3 habits, a mood slider, and then optionally a photo upload. I want to break this down more and more and talk through the problem. You can leverage ChatGPT here and just ask it, hey, break it down, and think of using wording like, I want a product requirements document. This is important because you need it to give context to the AI to know what it's building so it can understand and correlate the problem to the tech solution. Now, AI will do a great job. It'll draft this all up, and you can go even further. You can go find some screenshots of web applications or mobile applications that you think that you like, and go to things like mobbin.com, find screenshots, drag them and drop them and add them in. You'll then be able to leverage AI with your product brief for your small spec, again, one feature, and you can get it to draft the entire screen. You can ask it to break it down into tasks and start building, and it'll start shipping it small and incrementally. As it gets through, you'll have the screen built. You'll be able to look at it and feel it and touch it with your hands. You'll be able to click around and interact, but we're not done there yet. We need to wire it to our database. Thankfully, if you leverage a tech stack that is indexed for AI, like Supabase, you have a plethora of documentation that makes it easy to connect this. And honestly, the best step is to copy paste that documentation into a prompt and ask it, hey, I want you to wire this screen to this table, and here's my Supabase schema. Just get it going and hit the ground. Done. Now, that's like the same workflow you can go through over and over, but before you wrap up, it's important to go over it and go over it. If you're an engineer, you're going to have a good eye for code quality. If you're not, unfortunately, you may hit some corners here, but just keep track of things. If any errors crop up, you ain't see anything, just take a screenshot, paste it in, read it and flow. And sometimes it's good to just take a step back and read and try to understand the problem, take it to ChatGPT and use it as a learning outcome, because it's going to make you better every time as you build. Now, the next step, we want to build the feature for our coaches. We want to list all the clients, show their last check-in date, and add a risk badge if it's stale or if their habits are trending down. We can take the same process here again, take some screenshots on mobbin.com or anything, or even use ChatGPT to help draft these up, or take out a page and a pen and paper and draw it out, take a picture and upload it. And again, build out a product requirement doc, talk through what the problem is, talk through why, give it the reasoning why you're building this, explain, and think of it like you're talking to a 5-year-old and how you want to explain it. Keep it simple, go into detail, tell exactly what you want and exactly why. And once you have all this context, you run through the prompt and you're able to just iterate. And as you'll see the results. It might come true as a hack the first time, but you can iterate over and over, fix the errors, same step. Keep going until you get this part right. Then you're ready to move to the next step. And the next step in our case might be something simple. Okay, now we've got the clients checking in, their data is going into the database. And now we got the coach who's able to see all their clients' data and know who's stale. How about we automate them having to do their reach out? So every Monday, we could email the coaches, their 3 at-risk clients. So now we can think, what service could we use to set up emails? Thankfully, Supabase has cloud functions that can do this, but you can use tools like Resend API. There's many more. The thing is, think through what you want to do and don't worry about the tech stack, because you can do a lot of research and you can jump back to Perplexity, you can jump to ChatGPT, and you can just rubber duck and just talk to it like a little rubber duck. Be like, hey, I want to build this. It'll give you back information. And you just keep going back and forth and be like, hey, I want to use this tool for this reason and so forth. And just keep going back and forth. And once you're comfortable, you get enough context, you'll be able to take that into your prompt, pass it into your AI tool builder, whether you're using Cursor, Lovable, Claude Code. We'll get into that, and you can just iterate, and there you get that done. And then that's 3 loops, real utility, and you'll have a minimum lovable product. Now notice what I didn't do here. I wasn't just like, AI, build me a coaching app, because that's vibe coding, but we want to do this in structured shipping. We want to focus on the feature we're building and get it right. We want to iterate over and over until we're happy, and once we're happy, we can move to the next stage, because this is going to stop you from launching shitty features all stacked together, and it's going to give you the ability to ship small things at once and ship them well. Now, if we swap markets again, we can go back to being like CRMs. You can have weekly pipeline summaries, scheduling, we could have missed appointment reminders and payments, you could have failed charge alerts. Again, these are all things you could think through and build out. All these little features, you could think through it, rubber duck with ChatGPT, build out a prompt, build out a long context window, and a long doc, and then you take it to your AI builder of your choice, and then you get going. So again, it's the same loop, but a different vertical, and we just want to keep these loops small. One feature, one flow, and one feedback cycle. And that's how you're going to build cleverly with AI. We went through our tech stack, we talked about it. Now we need to get into build, right? But before we get into build, we need to set up the infrastructure like we talked about. So let's get into that right now, okay? So I'm opening cursor, similar enough where we had our landing page. Now what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've actually built out a technical implementation plan based on everything I just talked about, okay? This document provides a comprehensive technical implementation guide for building a monorepo-based fitness consulting platform. Now, why I put this in the code base is because I want my LLMs that I'm going to be using to be able to have a reference to the technical implementation plan, but also a product requirement doc where we're actually going to go through what the problem statement is, what the solution is, and our key value propositions. So that even though we're giving our LLM technical guidance, it should have product guidance to back that up to know, so that we can start employing some level of thought process here, that we can practice, some emotionally intelligent muscles and like really get the LLM to think, okay, as you're building this, make sure we're adhering to what we actually want, right? That we're not building something that's going to be the opposite of what we want, okay? So we can kind of go through this. I'm happy to share this afterwards. But let me just close these all up because they're kind of gone a bit crazy on me. Boom, boom. So I want to preview this. Okay. So problem statement. This is our PRD. Fitness coaches struggle. We know what this is. Okay. Fitness coaches struggle with client check-ins, manual follow-ups, scatter progress tracking, all this. Okay. We go through our key value propositions. We talk about our market research insights, all the stuff we did in step one, what the product vision is, the mission statement: eliminate client check-in chaos that prevents fitness coaches from scaling their business while maintaining quality service. Yep. Success metrics. These are good to know because maybe we can quantify these later in terms of analytics. User personas. This is good because as we're building out our database schema, we need to think, okay, what do these data models mean? How do we tie them? It's really good to have a PRD that you can map your database schema to, because it gives context to the user as well as the LLM. Oh, this is what we're structuring this around. Because structuring database tables can be a bit hit or miss. This gives them some like insight into, oh, this is what the data means. Okay. Now we're going to talk through, this is a bit laggy, don't know why, our MVP feature set. This is just what we're going to focus on building today. And actually, we're actually going to skip authentication for now because I just want to show you how to get up and ground running. We could add authentication, but everybody knows what a login and a password is. I just want to show you as if a client was already logged in on the app and as if a coach is already logged in on the web app. So we'll actually not go through with that today. But the mobile app is very simple. Quick check-in flow, mood selection, weight entry, and notes field, optional photo upload. We might not get to that. It's fine, but I'll just like kind of run through with it. A one-tap submit, and we want to target completion time of under 15 seconds. You should be able to open up that app, type your stuff, and hit submit, and that's it. Okay. Then the web dashboard, again, client list with status indicators. You want to see if clients are on track, if they checked in this week, late, if it's overdue by 1 to 3 days, or if they're behind, if they're overdue by 4+ days. This will give them a quick overview over what clients are behind and who they can reach out to help get them on track. Because again, it's all about adherence. If somebody's already doing the work, it makes the coach's life easy because they don't need to keep as close an eye on them as the people who really need help. We can add a client detail view where you can pull in a sheet, you click on the table, you'll see their details come through. Alert management, might get to that, we'll see. API and backend, check-in management, yep, we want to be able to submit check-in data, retrieve client history, dashboard data, all that jazz. So as you can see, we're going through here. We also talk about like what we could potentially do in the future, some phase 2 features. So PRD isn't just about what you're building now. You can think of how it can evolve over time, but break it down to phases and milestones, and then you just focus on those milestones, but you always have it to reflect on and iterate. And again, these are living documents. You might change these as you go along. And then you have your user experience requirements: speed first, minimal friction, visual feedback, accessible, consistent on mobile. And you want to follow native iOS and Android patterns. Because we're using Expo and React Native, we'll kind of get these out of the box. And the same with some web and dashboard principles. Some technical requirements, performance requirements. These are just kind of extra stuff that just I kind of generated. Again, I leverage AI a bit to help me build these. some data model specifications. We have a user object, coach client object, check-in object, alert objects, all this kind of jazz. And yeah, as you can see, there's a lot here. We can go through it in more detail, but the idea is we're really fleshing out what the product is going to be to some extent, okay? Now our plan. We actually have a plan in place because we want to like get the plan. The whole purpose of the plan is to help the LLM ship incrementally. We really want to just like not ship everything at once, because if we do, it's just going to be a fucking mental gymnastic fucking episode of figuring out what the fuck is going wrong. So my plan is very simple. I want to set up the web app, the mobile app, the database, the architecture. This is our technical stack, very clear, just keeping it simple. What we're using for styling and UI, database and ORM, we already talked through this, core UI. For styling and UI, may have not talked about it too much. We're just going to use ShadCN on the web. It's very easy to follow framework. I'll show you real quick. ShadCN. Just gives you some really nice out-of-the-box components. You don't have to think too much about styling them, and you can just use these, and over time, then you can tweak them yourselves. What's really nice, you get full control of these because you just get the raw code, and then you can tweak it. But it just makes life easier. Now, if we go back to where we were. Oh, yes. We were back in Cursor. Okay. Yeah, we're still going through this. Now, technology stack, project structure. Now, we talked about project structure. We said we wanted a mono repo structure, right? And it was very high level what I showed you. I want to show you something a bit more deeper level. You can imagine we're in the project right now. What we want us to do is have this apps folder. We can store our web app and our mobile app. A packages folder, we can store our DB level code. We're going to store our Prisma schema and our generated client. What this means is the Prisma schema is essentially going to wrap around the SQL. So SQL is a query language that you use to communicate with SQL databases. And it just means you can talk to the data, insert, and you can like basically persist data to a database. So it exists. So when the apps and stuff go off, it doesn't matter. As soon as they turn on, they pull in the latest data. That database is a single source of truth. Prisma basically wraps an ORM around this. And what that is, it just gives you a bunch of types that makes it easy for you to perform things like create, read, update, delete operations at a single or a bulk level really easily, all in TypeScript, all in the same code we're using to write the UI and everything. So because we're doing this all in TypeScript, it just makes it easy for us to go. And also it just makes it easier for the LLM, whichever LLM we use. I'm actually going to use Cursor in auto mode because it's going to be faster. I could use it in Claude and it'd be much more intelligent, but I just want to go fast and show you guys what we can do and how fast we can go here, kind of with like the least equipment. But as you can see here, I spent a lot of time thinking through this plan. Now, there's a lot in here and you can think through plans, but realistically what you want to do is you want to ask ChatGPT, once you have all your research and you have all the tools and technology you want, give me a technical implementation plan that my LLM, either Cursor or Claude Code or whatever I'm using, can implement incrementally in bite-sized pieces, and also give me a PRD breaking down what we're trying to build and how we can improve in the future. So it has that to reference, so it knows going forward as it's building things, it can go back and forth between the two. You should do those for every project and just have them, and then you can leverage them and talk to AI like I'm going to show you to get it off the ground. Okay. Now we go through our root mono repo configuration, all this jazz. Yep, this is all great. This is all great. This is all great. There's like a lot here. I kind of went into some more detailed stuff. A lot of this was ChatGPT generated based on what I provided and based on what I wanted to use, right? So this is all well and good. And the thing with Supabase is actually hosted, but we're actually just going to use a local instance today. I don't want to host it. I just want to go fast. Okay. So without further ado, and I'm going to stop talking, I want to show you how we're going to build this. Okay. So let's kick off. Check out our plan and our PRD. We want to set up the infrastructure. So the high level overview of our mono repo. Let's create a Next.js app with ShadCN under web. Just set the app up. Don't implement any business logic yet. Now, read what I said. These are the small kind of tasks that I want you to perform. After each task, you must git commit. Again, our checkpoints, we talked about git. We want to git commit, so every time we make a change, we git commit, it gets saved, we can move on, and if anything fucks up, we can go back, and it just makes life easy. It's just so imperative that you have this in place, because if there's one thing you want to do when you're building with AI is you want to save and ship small, because if you try to one-shot things, Jesus Christ, if it all goes to shit, you could have wasted hours. Okay? So, please make that tasks.md file and make it clear that each task has to be committed before we can progress to the next. Organize the tasks in order of getting apps running and database and shared package code first. Obviously, one by one. Then a script to run all Expo, web, and database. Just use Supabase local for now. Keep it simple, and we do not need authentication. Yeah, we're going to skip authentication, just keep it easier for ourselves. Okay, so we're going to kick this off. It's going to read our plan. It's going to read our purity. It's going to go through, and we can actually follow along, which is really good. And the thing when you're building with AI is that you want to read what it's doing and you want to keep in, because you want to be able to course correct in case it starts going off crazy. So see that stop button? You want to be ready to press that. In my case, it's Control C, but just read it. And just like, even if you don't understand the code, read what it's saying in plain English. And if it starts doing crazy shit, just stop it. And then course correct, tell it what to do next, and we keep going, okay? So I asked it to set up Git. It's initializing Git first. That's exactly what we wanted. We wanted those checkpoints set up in place, so we're not going to go fucking gung-ho crazy and just go guns blazing, try to build something, and then be like, oh, fuck, I did too much, I got overwhelmed, and I can't continue, okay? So yeah, so that's getting in place. Did it commit? Let's check it out. Yeah, we have a commit here. Perfect, awesome. And we committed our tasks MD file, great. Now we're setting up a root. Awesome. Setting up root monorepo configuration, awesome. See, it's going through, it's creating these little mini configs. Okay, create Next.js web app, awesome. We've already got the Next.js web app. Are you serious? This is fucking fast, okay? Like we're going fast here. We're banging out the tasks. Now, I want to make sure that we're actually checking off the tasks. Is the task being checked off? Because if it's not, that's crazy. All right, let's look at the tasks. Yeah, it is. It's checking off the tasks as we're going. See, it is doing stuff and is looking at this. Think of this like your Trello board, whatever. You want to have this in place and you want to keep an eye on it. Literally have this here and have this here and make sure it is doing the task and it is not jumping. So task 5 is completed. Now, hang on a second, okay? See how it did not mark these? I'm going to stop it now. Okay. You are not marking off tasks as you complete them. Please make sure that you complete the tasks and mark them as such and commit to. It's important we do this in order. Okay? So I course corrected there because it wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And you could just go away, go for coffee. You could make a fucking lasagna and come back, but then it might blow up. You need to be present. You need to be watching. Doesn't matter. Same way if you're getting a Tesla and it's auto driving down the highway, you still need to be there and it still flags you if shit goes wrong. Okay. So that's kind of disgusting and kind of let some spit come out, but anyway, whatever. All right, here we go. Now let's see what it's doing. Okay, it's creating a health check API endpoint. This is actually useful. I didn't tell it to do this, I don't think. Maybe I did. Maybe ChatGPT did when I generated the plan. But this is quite useful because it's going to give a heartbeat so that we can actually check the server at some point if we want to see from the mobile app, hey, is the app actually up and running? But also the LLM can actually run the server and query it and it can check if it's running, which is actually even more important. So it's funny. Sometimes you actually want to add little endpoints to your apps as you're building them so that the API can just query them. It can use like curl commands, which is a means of like using the terminal to basically call an API and hit it. And if it gets a good response, it knows that it's running. So it's just good, just kind of like give some piecemeal. It's amazing what you can do. So there's an Xcode version issue. I don't understand why there would be an Xcode version issue because I have been up to date. That's all right. You're not marking off these tasks though. So I'm going to stop again and I'm going to say, hey, look, tasks are not checked off. I know you've done them, but come on, Do as I asked. Okay. See? Let's see. Now it should come in and update all the tasks that it did. It's like literally asking people to fill in the spreadsheet. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to know what's completed so we can keep an eye on it. Okay. So I'm going to just see here. Yeah. Task completed. What are we on next? We're setting up the database. Okay. Installing Supabase CLI. This is, yeah. So Supabase CLI is basically just a terminal command that's going to launch Supabase and what you call a Docker container. So Docker, it's a bit more of a complex thing to explain, but if you think about it, Supabase is hosted somewhere in a server. Docker is the ability to have these containers. And basically, Supabase will provide everything it did to run Supabase on a server to you in like a little file, and you can take that file and you can run it on your local machine. So it's almost like Supabase is hosted on your machine, but you don't have to do anything crazy. You just do like this one command. It's like Docker up Supabase or some shit. And then you have a local Supabase instance doing everything Supabase does, but on your local machine, so you can just go faster. So it's kind of useful in that sense, but don't worry, the Supabase CLI actually sets that up for you. It's just important to know that for going forward, okay? So it's asking me, now we got so far and asked me, hey, what do we do next? Okay, like, what do you think? What do you think? Did we run into any issues and skip? Should we fix those? Okay, so I know it kind of like went crazy and I wasn't keeping full attention on it, but I know I did see points where it says, hey, oh, this didn't work, but I'm just going to move on to the next step. So task 8, we skipped a couple of items that were in the original plan. Installing Supabase CLI initialize. We had issues with Xcode version and didn't get Supabase running. There should be no issues with the Expo version. Okay, be clear. What are the issues? And would it help if I gave you docs? Okay, current issues. Again, you can talk to this. Just if it says, oh fuck, something's wrong, ask it to explain what's wrong. Read it. You need to understand, okay? It's important you treat this as an educational opportunity too, so you can learn how to build. You get better by learning. You don't get better by just sitting down and watching shit do it for you, okay? You have to do some work here. Don't just think AI is going to build everything for you. Let AI build everything for you, but learn how it's building, so the next time you go in, you know the right things to ask to help it go faster. You know the wrong things to ask, or then you know what not to ask so it doesn't go slower. Okay. Supabase is not actually running. Okay. Is there anything? So should we fix these issues now and complete? Yes, we should always fix these issues. Yes, please do. Okay. So you want docs. Now it's asking me to go and help them. I'm going to help it. Okay. It needs docs for local. Okay. So let's look at this. So Supabase local. I'm going to find out what are the docs. They're all here. Perfect. Copy paste. Here are the local docs. Docs for Supabase. What else does it want? Prisma and Supabase integration. Okay. Prisma, Supabase integration. Just give me information. Prisma quick start guide. Here we go. But we want to do it on local. So let's just say, here it is. Here is Prisma docs. But bear in mind, we are running on local. And what else do we need? Any specific configuration? No configuration. Just use Supabase local stuff. No auth needed. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Letting that run. Starting the database from the backup. Okay. So when I said Docker, this is Docker. Okay. You can see it started off. You see all these things. See all of the Supabase instances running. This is Supabase running for you locally. So, and I'll show you once I actually get it up and running. Let me close off some of these. Localhost, I think it's 5 or 2. There we go. So Supabase is actually running locally here. You can actually go into Supabase. It's supabase.com. And I have an account. And create a new organization. Well, you can go in here. I'm not going to go in here because this is a client's instance, so I don't want to show you. But you can go in, you can like literally see everything. And what's good about this is all running locally, and I'll be able to inspect all my tables. Oh, look, we have check-in data, all this kind of stuff. Great. Actually, I think this might be from like an older project, so never mind. But what we'll do is we will actually kill all of this off. I'm going to delete it, delete forever, delete it again. I'm going to tell it that, hey, maybe you have to rename the Supabase instance. It looks like we have an old Supabase instance of similar name. Should we rename our instance? just to make sure in case there's some conflict there. Yeah, probably want to know if it's the same name that's causing influence. Okay. Yeah, let's kill and delete that one. So we can build from ground zero. So this is just like a little annoying thing because I was working on a project before and I had a local Supabase instance. Sometimes they kind of clash with each other, but don't worry, we'll clear this out and we'll make it easy. Okay, so it's going to prune it, kill it, awesome. And it's really nice is that you can actually get ChatGPT to help you with this. You could have went and done this manually, but it would just be such a fucking mindfuck to figure it out that this will just help you get there way faster. Okay. Awesome. Okay, starting the database, initializing the schema. As you can see, here we go. Let's go. If this runs, this is perfect. We just want to be able to run it, see our stuff. Do we have anything in here? Packages, database. So as you can see here, run the Prisma, generated. Don't worry about this stuff. Awesome. It's added our schema, user table, client table, check-in table. Awesome. These are like just models that are going to store the data when we store it in the database. So when you define these basically correlate to where the data is structured, and you can define all this. And again, this is all Prisma. You can go through it, but it's all maps to SQL at the end of the day, or SQL, or whatever you want to call it. We have a seed script here, which is really handy. You can actually, so what we're going to do is just to get off the ground fast, we're going to seed the database. We actually inject data into the database already. So it's already there. So when we start it up, we'd already have a coach, we'd already have a client user, we'd already have a demo client, and we already have a few check-ins entered. Perfect. Okay. So awesome. It's all up and running. We can validate because we can come into Supabase Studio and I want to look for client.app.com. Okay. So what I'm going to do is come in here to this URL and I'm going to look up. Awesome. Supabase is running locally. It's on our Docker container. We can come in here. We can look at our table. And there we go. Demo client. There's our seeded and there's all our stuff. So all this stuff correlates directly to what we have in here. This is awesome. Now we have a database set up that we can connect to and we can hit the ground running. Our infrastructure is almost set up. Okay. So let's see what we got a web app. Perfect. We haven't even tested the web app. So let's do that real quick. Okay. So I'm going to see the apps, web, bun run dev. It's probably got nothing on it. It's probably just bare bones, empty. And the idea is it starts. Should see something. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we got something. Fitness coach dashboard, recent check-ins, 0, client status. This means we are not connected to the database on the web app yet, but we'll get there. Don't worry. We just got the infrastructure set up. Now we just have somewhere like to manage. We probably enter a table here, build all this out, but don't worry, we're going to get there. This is awesome. It's going really well. Okay. Yes. Let's get the Expo app running. Now, we get this Expo app up and running. This is a mobile app. It's going to launch in the simulator. And again, we're building it through Expo. You see this little app called Expo Go. So as you're building apps with Expo, how it works is on a simulator, it connects to just like a local server. But basically, it's streaming the data in from a local server. Expo Go is like an app that you can install from the App Store. You can actually install it on your device, right? And what you're going to see is a QR code is going to pop up. And if you scan that QR code, I'm actually going to do it and I'll show you on the screen. And once it comes in. So first, I'm just going to wait till we actually get it up and running, but you'll see it here. You'll see it on the simulator and you'll see it on my phone. But what's nice is once you have it on your phone, you can be live coding here and it gets live streamed here and you're able to test the app on your phone. And it's just really fucking awesome. It's such an unlock for going fast and iterating. And as you can see, the cycle makes it easy. You can pass it to you can vibe code with someone, pass it to someone, I'll give you feedback. You vibe code it here, you change it up. You can be in a team, you can all be controlling the same thing, be like, this button looks off, and you can all iterate over and over instead of going through Figma designs. So I'll show you how sick this is once we get it up and running. Okay, hang on. It started trying to use native wind. I'm gonna stop it right here and say, hey, fuck native wind. Let's just use style sheets. I actually really like native wind, so sorry for giving it slack. But what I just don't want to use it right now because I know it's probably going to give some configuration errors. I just want to deal with it. I'm going to use native style sheets, which is just a standard way of editing styling in a React app, and we can get to native wind at a later stage. But I would actually use native wind on my productive app or my production app. It's just like a nice way of using Tailwind to build out UIs. And if you're curious as to what Tailwind is, it's probably the best way of building UIs with LLMs because it's so optimized. And every LLM you use whether it's on Lovable, Bolt.new, Cursor, or Claude, they're all pretty much using Tailwind to style the UIs. It's just easier to hit the ground running, and because it's all co-located with the stuff you're changing. Okay, so it says it's ready to run CD apps on npm start. Okay, let's try this. So we're going to CD apps / mobile. Again, I'm super sorry if I speak really fast. It's just like I'm Irish, so I'm really sorry. People are probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? Okay, port 801 on those, that's fine. Okay, I'm starting this up. Perfect. See this QR code? Okay, awesome. Now, see how it's telling me to press I to open iOS simulator? I'm going to press that. Now it's going to launch in this simulator, right? Awesome. The app's going to come up. Something's going to display. Probably something shit. We'll see. Quick check-in. Awesome. See that? Now, I'm taking my phone. I'm scanning the QR code with the camera. Before that, I actually went to the App Store and I downloaded Expo Go. Okay? Now, look at that. The app is on my phone. This is sick. And even better, I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to make a live change. I'm going to find where it says quick check-in, which is what it says there. I hope that actually focused. Let's see. Quick check-in. Hello, live from Imran's phone. Now I'm literally typing that in, as you can see on screen, and I'm going to save it. And look, as soon as I save it, it's right there. So you can understand how powerful this is as a team if you want to iterate. Someone can have the phone, somebody can be recording, another person can be thinking things up, being like, maybe they can go on and find screenshots, give them to you. If you go onto a site like mobbin.com, I actually recommend this to a lot of people. It's worth the money. I actually can't remember if I'm paying for it right now. But if you go here, let me log in. Mobbin.com is incredible. You get inspiration from some of the best software that exists. And that can be mobile apps or web apps or apps or sites. And you can come in here and find apps that inspire you, right? Once you find an app that inspires you, you can actually click into it. So I can click in, I can see all the screen grabs. And the best part about this is if I want to build something like this, I can just go, hey, maybe I want to build something like this, okay? I'm gonna take a screenshot. I could actually can I download the screen? Yeah, I can download the screen. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna take this timer thing. I think it looks quite cool. I like its tap interface. See this? Put it in here. Okay, I like the tap to start. I like the tap to start thing here. Can we do something similar for tap to check-in? Okay, so I'm gonna let that run. Again, it's on my phone. So let's see if it does, if it gets up to speed, okay? We'll see what it says. We might revert it, but in the meanwhile, let's just see this. I'll keep the simulator up. Tap to check in, right? Awesome. Save this, and boom, it's on my phone. See how fast that is? So what you can do now is you can spend the time looking up designs, but honestly, come here for inspiration, find screenshots. One of your team members can be coming in here and looking up and building like a Pinterest board of what you want the app to look like. The other person can be literally doing customer research on calls, and you can be here vibe coding, and that person can send the images to you on Slack. You can take the images, pop them in, put them in. The other person can be on their phone and they can queue it and say, yes, this is cool. And you can keep this iterative flow going, and it's a really, really fun way of building. Okay. So I'm not going to get too much into this, but I'm just showing you how fast that was to find a design that looks good, drop a screenshot in, and it's in your code. That is insane. That was in less than 30 seconds, right? So again, that's how you iterate with SaaS. That's how you design. That's how you move forward. You do it through iteration. You're scrapping in, you're working with AI, you're literally using tools that exist. Pay subscriptions for these things because it's worth it. If something's $20 and you get an unlock to so many different designs, just get them. It's unreal. Or even just go on the App Store, download apps, take screenshots of the things you like, and then submit them. It's okay. I know it's some designers are probably going to be like, you asshole, but unfortunately, this is the world we live in right now. And as an engineer, AI is doing my job. But now I've shifted my mindset to becoming a builder. I still engineer, but I engineer with a product mindset of the whole overall vision. And it's an evolution process that everyone can get to. Now, anyway, back to where we were. Let's get back on track. And keep going through our tasks. Our tasks, committing and updating as we complete. So this is awesome. Our infrastructure is set up. We're really, really good to go. We're actually going to get here quite fast. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm pretty confident we can get ourselves to a check-in flow, API routes unlocked, and a dashboard to look through. Okay. So now what I wanted to do is I wanted to see how I had to like go and start the mobile app once, and then I have to start the web app and then start the database. That's really annoying. What's really handy is to think through utility scripts. And what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a thing called a bash script. And this bash script is basically going to be one thing I can say. I'm just be like, I just want you to start everything, and it's going to run through and do everything, and it's going to pull that all in into a file that I don't have to look at ever again. And I can just say, hey, start this. And my LLM can do the same. When it's working and it wants to start everything, it can just run that, start it, and all of the database and everything gets up and running. So I'm going to close off some of this stuff because it's getting a bit cumbersome. I'm going to stop running here. I'm going to stop running here because I don't need it right now. And I'm going to just let AI keep going. Okay, now our context window is getting thick here. So what I'm going to say is our context window is getting thick. well, almost eaten up. Please write a brief handoff into a handoff.md doc so we can take it to another context window. So sometimes I like to do this. I mean, you don't have to because it will compact it, but it's just a habit where I'm going to be like, hey, I noticed our context window is approaching. It's going to get slower to use this. So can you please just hand this off to the next thing? This is slow. Something's up. Sometimes you might have to cancel termination operation. And I'll ask it to do it. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. This is handed off. You can almost do this if you're finishing today. Just do write a handoff doc and come back the next day and tackle it. Okay. Awesome. So we've kept this. Great. We're going to move to the next stage where I'm going to basically just add handoff, add tasks. Let's continue where we left off. Boom. See how easy that was. So just keep going. It's kind of good. Like if you're finishing at the end of the day, I like to do this. Just create a handoff doc, do it. And then when you're done, you can update the handoff doc, or you can keep a record of the handoff doc. So you can just keep like a track record of all your sessions. It's just nice. I like it because it just makes my life a bit easier. It's another way of like doing somewhat version control, but more like context control. Okay. All scripts are executable. It's running the test script. I can see it running in here. I put you can actually eject that terminal out here so you can read that as it's going along too. I'm going to widen this. I know it's probably hard for you guys to see. Maybe my screen is too small. Hope not. I actually hope I'm recording audio. I am, thank God. This has happened before where the audio has been off. Okay, let's update the task and default. The mark test 10 is completed. Great. Where are we on our tasks actually? I kind of forgot. Awesome. We have gotten through, what's this phase called? Infrastructure setup. That's what I like to call it. Okay, 41 minutes in, we have our infrastructure set up. We have our plan and everything generated. And now we're actually good to ship. But we're already shipping. You saw we have a mobile app on our phone and we can like live do this. We can go pull screenshots, put it in, tweak everything. This is software with AI. This is how it works. This is the future and you need to get on board because the old way of doing things is gone. You can be so much more iterative, so much more creative. If you just think of something, go Google it, find it, pull it in, drop it in, and you can be up and running in a few minutes. That's how fast we can go, okay? And I'm not even using one of the best models. I'm using auto mode, which is basically like just fucking level 1 Pokemon of using cursor. I could have put in Claude, but I'm actually showing you how fast we can go with the basics. You can extend this, you can pay for cursor, and you can actually go and use other models. But we're keeping it quite simple and quite fast because auto will actually get us there because we have a plan. This is the thing. If you did not have a plan and you would probably want to use a more beneficial LLM. But if you have a plan, you can use a faster, more efficient LLM because you've already done the hard work for them and told them what to do. You're telling them what to do. You're not burdening them with having to discover it themselves. That's a key point. You can speed things up by using your brain and your research techniques to speed up your LLM. So it's actually not all about one-shotting. Sometimes one-shotting is slower than actually doing the planning and working. All right, so we've done this all. I want to make sure yep, perfect. Okay, yes, let's go and let's build out the dashboard for the, let's do this simultaneously. I was going to do this one by one, but we can have two instances, okay? Let's parallelize the work. I want you to break down a parallel tasks .md, where we can have tasks that mobile can do now and web can do now without waiting for each other. If there are conflicting dependencies we need in place first, let's do those before we even consider that. Please get us to a state where we can build in isolation at the same time. Okay, what I want to do is now transition from doing everything linearly to figuring out what have we left to do before we actually have all the foundation in place, where I can just have an agent building my mobile app at one point and an agent building my web app at one point, instead of me having to do it one by one. That would be ideal. Okay, so now, as you can see here, we need to establish API contracts. Get those API contracts in and shared dependencies. This is where we talked about Zod. This is where we talked about Prisma. This is where we talked about all those shared packages that we're going to have under this package folder. And once we have these shared models and stuff in place, it'll be so easy for us to go fast because we won't have to update these. And then web can talk to that, mobile can talk to that, and they don't have to talk to each other, and we'll get all these in place. Okay. So we have these parallel tasks. Let's see what it built for us. Okay. Yep. Okay, awesome. Has all these tasks we need to do. Okay. Let me start implementing phase 0 to get us to the parallel development state. Let's start with task 1, API route stubs. Okay, perfect. We need to build the API routes that are going to enable us. So when you saw on the app, tap the check-in, it's going to show a form where you can enter in your check-in details. If you submit that, nothing happens. So we need the API route to send that to the backend, so that to send that to the web app, because our web app is exposing these API routes. Our web app is basically opening these windows, these holes. And these holes are very specifically shaped because of the schema. So the check-in is going to be like this weird diamond shape, right? And we want to make sure that when we submit a check-in, the structure of our data fits that diamond shape, because otherwise it won't be validated. And in order for this to know about the diamond shape, and the web app to know about the diamond shape, we need a shared schema that defines the diamond shape. And that's what we're doing now. We're defining the shared shape so that this data can go in the format that's going to fit the way we want it to. And once we have that defined, it's defined once, and then we can parallelize, because both of them know what they're working with and they both expect a contract. It is literally a contract, just like a contract you sign with a provider, knowing exactly what they're getting and why they're getting it. This is really important because you want to set these up in such a way, because A, makes the LLMs stick to what they're doing, and B, it's going to make it sure that you can't possibly fucking go wrong because you have to adhere to the schema or else the app won't build. And that's why we do it this way. And we use Zod because we leverage a thing called type checking. And what type checking is, before the app even builds this stuff, we can run this thing called type checking, which basically checks, hey, is our code and our types in the right format? And are we calling types with the wrong data? Are we doing things with the wrong shapes? If we're doing things with the wrong shapes, then we're not going to build the app. But once you do everything with the right shapes, we can build the app. And that's what we want to enforce in as many areas as we can. Because if you do that, there's a concept in security, it's called defense in debt. It's where you have security at your database level, at your application level, at every level. You kind of want that where you want like type safety in debt, where across anything you can think of, you just want to have as many guardrails, because the more guardrails you have, the more protected you are from LLMs, and they cannot proceed until they meet your guardrails. So it's really important, okay? So that's kind of a tangent I went on, and I went on because I just wanted this to just keep building. But now it's letting me create the API client utilities package. Perfect. Where is that? Let's see, client, API client, okay. Done. Wonder what this is for. Oh, I think I know what this is for. It's creating this just as a client I can use on web. I can actually, this will pull this in. So if I was to, so I'll create the Expo. Actually, I'll be very interested if this will work on Expo. So let's find out. It should. I don't see why it wouldn't. I think it's just creating objects for us. The request. What's this request coming from? URL. Oh, it's using fetch. Yeah, it should be fine. So fetch is a native API. This should be fine. So it's creating this client. So you can imagine, okay, we're building this for the mobile app, but what if there was a Slack app? Or what if it was an SMS app, which you can build? And then we can connect these clients. I guess not SMS app, but some other app. But the idea is we create these shared clients that can just exist, and either app can pull them in, and we kind of like are abstracting away some of the code. Okay, awesome. So apparently these are all up and running. So let's see what we have next. Both teams can work independently. I'm just going to say, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure we are good to go? And there is no stone left unturned. Sometimes it's eager and it says there isn't, but I like to just ask you, be like, are you absolutely sure? Is there something we missed? Okay, so as it says, you're right to double check. So it's going to do an audit. Before we proceed, I want to make sure all our ducks are in a row. There we go. We don't have this dependency. We don't have this dependency. Okay. Okay. Yep. There we go. So add it. So even if AI says it's done, it's not done. Double check everything. See here, it's adding the dependencies we need. Okay. I wonder where these actually work. This is actually interesting. I'm not sure if this is going to do what I want it to do, but I'll see once it's running. Yeah, this looks strange. But it's all right. If we run into an error, the best thing about when you find an error is you just get AI to help you fix it. I know that sounds a little kind of easy, but it's not that easy. I mean, at certain points you have to use your brain. And as I'm looking at this, I'm kind of like seeing some strange stuff, but I'm also not too fussed. I just want to because this is stuff we can fix after the fact. I just want to show you how fast we can go. Come on. Okay. Both apps can import to share packages. Okay, that should be fine. Great. I think what would be nice is if we had clean at aliases used. Do we have those? So what I want to do is just make these clean at aliases, so that's just easier to pull these in, rather than having these really shitty imports at the top. When I say shitty imports, I mean I don't like this. I don't like this shit. I don't like that's doing at packages API client. It could just be at API client, right? Or at models. Yeah, see how that does. That looks bad. Why did it do it that way? TypeScript path mappings. Yeah, actually we had it and it took it away. I don't like that. Bring it back. Okay. Could make these somewhat shared, but I'm not. Honestly, I just want to get through this. I mean, that'll work. A coaching app, API client, I think. We will know when it runs. I'm taking it at face value. Should we run to test or will it be okay? Okay, it's going to test the API endpoints for us. Again, this is why we had the little API health checkpoint. It actually adds this route for us so they can just do the check for us. So technically we will need to log in. Just going to delete some of these. And I'm going to open a new one. Services aren't running. Okay. Docker isn't running, but Docker should be running. We had this up before. Docker exists. It should run. There should be no issue. Please make sure if we apply a fix, it's in the script for every time. It's on. I'm looking at it. Sometimes this shit just happens. Okay. All right, now it's adding an automatic startup script. For some reason, it was kind of down. Kill it, start it, kill it, start it. Always good to check my camera is still on. Sometimes it dies. All right, delete the test final. That's fine, whatever. Come on, perfect. Let's do a comprehensive test to make sure everything's working. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, that's some TypeScript errors. I'm not too fussed about those. We get them later. I just want this to run. Yeah, fix that up. Promise client ID. Okay. Just come on. Yeah, fix those up. See, it's good to have type checking errors because when we get these, it just means hey, you need to fix this shit. Okay. Are you sure it's ready before we go? Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I want to make sure I want to smoke test this myself because I don't want to take AI at face value. I run bundle run dev. I want to watch all these scripts work. Okay, yes. Docker's up. Docker's ready. Starting Supabase. And it's not ready. Why not? Let me try it again. See, this is... You lied to me, you fucker. Okay. You fucking lied, dude. Lied, dude. Please fix this. Fix this. It shouldn't happen. Every time I run dev. Sometimes I like to get a little abusive with it. Wow, there's a murder of crows outside. It's going nuts. It's like Lord of the Rings. Come on, buddy. Supabase containers are getting into a bad state. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are. Why? Is it because we kill and unkill? Should we be graceful and not kill if not needed, and let it live, and only start if it's dead? Might be a case where we're killing it every single time and it's coming up and it's just running into some issues. So maybe we don't actually need to kill Docker every time. We need to kill our apps, but I want to make sure that if it's already running, we don't have to kill it. So I think the script just kind of like was like, oh, if it's on, kill it, and we start it again. Kind of a waste of time, but anyway. Okay. I hope this works, because Docker is technically on, my friend. Is it? Oh, and we didn't push the DB push. Okay. Sounds like it's up and running. We can make sure because we can load it, and yeah, we can load it, and there we go. But we have duplicate. Okay, the seeds are duplicating. Seeding is duplicating. Logic. So let's nuke all data pre-seed. So that's interesting. Every time I start this now, it's going to like reseed the same data, and I don't want that. So let's actually just nuke it all. Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't nuke it every single time. But do we need to nuke every time, or should we do that on demand separately? I seed when we explicitly tell it. I think we should seed it when we explicitly tell it instead. I don't want to have to like run it and then it just deletes data and all the data I entered is gone. So I'm just going to do, if it's a fresh start, do it. And if it's not, we'll seed it, and that's it. Okay. Yeah, and it's going to add some repackaged JSON scripts for easy database management, which is nice. You want to do this generally. You want to have like some scripts created that just make your life easier to do shit. So I'm doing it here where it's like going to run into the database and do it. It's all good. So I can do something simple like now that it's added, you see they can do bun run DB Studio. And what it should do, yeah, and it opens up Prisma Studio, which is like another way of inspecting the database where I can actually just go in and like see all the data I have. Now I have some data here. I kind of want to let's clean up the DB and delete all data and reseed once. Okay, it's awesome. I mean, as you can see here, we're getting a lot of utility functions out of this. It just helps us go a bit faster. Because sometimes maybe you'll work through stuff and maybe the data is clean. You want to like come in here, change up the data for a demo. Maybe you want a demo to a client. Come in, set up a seed script, edit the seed script and say, I want a demo for this client. Maybe it's like Gold's Gym and you're going to all their personal trainers in like the Vancouver area. And you can just like find out all their names. Go on LinkedIn, find out all their names and just come up with some mock clients. And you can like say, hey, there's you. You can upload their profile picture. Get kind of crazy. But yeah, this is good. Okay, awesome. Let's update handoff before we run out of context with what we should tackle next. Okay, so this is really good. Our infrastructure is really set up. It took a while, but I just wanted to be sure so that I'm not having to dealing with this shit every time. And generally, once you get this right the first time, you don't have to change it too many other times afterwards. Big engineering companies usually have platform teams that handle this. A lot of this stuff is handled by the tooling we use. We just need to set up our right scripts from the start to just make it more convenient for us to do stuff. So my convenience is I want to be able to seed. I want to be able to start all my apps at once. I don't have to individually go in and start them all at once. I just want to start them all at once so I can do the updates as I go. And I can just, like, once they're started, then I just code. I don't even like look at the thing. Just let it run. And I'm coding and I'm updating, looking at my phone. Okay, boom, I can press tap. If I press tap, does it load in the database? No. Okay, change the code. Try it again, press tap. Oh, it updates in the database. Awesome. Like, that's kind of like the workflow. You just want to get this stuff in place and then you can kind of go. Yeah, you just kind of keep iterating on this. This is a mental shift from from engineering over the last 15 years. Well, for the last 2 or 3 years, it's been like this. Definitely been a privileged point to be able to experiment with this. But before that, a lot of it was there's a lot of this stuff that just took so long. Like what we did in an hour could have taken like a day or more. It's just, this is so much faster to just go get over the bullshit and actually get to working on the fun stuff, which we kind of were to here with the mob and pace, but we're getting there now. All right, the foundation is bulletproof, time to build some amazing features. Okay, here we fucking go. Okay, now it's time to go nuts. Okay, a parallels tasks, a handoff. Let's implement the mobile feature set. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Let's implement the web feature set. Now I was going to go granular, but now that we've all the infrastructure set up, let's actually jump between the two of these here and make this really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to jump between them. You see, we've got task, milestone 1, check-in form UI, API integration, check-in history, offline support. I didn't actually talk through offline support, but let's let that go work through. And if we get to that point, it means if I turn on airplane mode, I should be able to still see that I can submit check-ins. And then when I turn on airplane mode, it should sync said check-ins to our server. So we'll see if that works. I actually didn't suggest that, but it'd be interesting to see if this does it. You can see here it's actually adding Expo camera, which is awesome. This is actually really good. Expo camera is going to mean that we can actually leverage the camera in the app to take a picture, and it should be able to upload that. And what we'd want to do is in our dashboard, see that actually displayed. So just to be sure, I want to make sure that, yeah, awesome. We should be able to store these images in here. So when I upload an image from my phone, we should see it come in here, and we should also see it on the dashboard. And that's going to be a really good end-to-end flow. Okay. So again, now I'm kind of like, I've set up all the plan. And again, I plan my product requirements docs on my technical plan. I said before, you don't tell AI to build the app for you, right? You don't just one-shot it. But if you spend the time building out the plans and having everything in place, once you have your plans, you can tell AI to one-shot based off your plans. Because as you can see, I set up a parallel task list of all the tasks you can do in parallel. But before I got here, I made sure I had all the dependencies in place. And all these tasks are easy to follow for AI. It knows what to do. It's doing it in bite-sized pieces and it's moving forward. Again, we might run into some conflicts here, but that's fine. It still has a much greater way of going than if I just came in and said, hey, build me an app that can handle client coach check-ins for fitness industries. Imagine if you said that in one sentence and you expected a full functioning app with no bugs. I mean, you'd have to be really delusional to think that that is an acceptable way to build software, first of all, because there's so much more in it. As you can see, we're optimizing here for getting fast, but to get there, we wanted the right infrastructure set up. And that infrastructure gets more and more complex depending on the project. This is very non-complex, but later we can bring in like vector databases on the back end where the data we're submitting can be vectorized. And what that means is we can actually build an AI chat wrapper on top, which I'd love to get to in a future video, and show you how easy it is to take the data that you own on your platform, on your software solution, and actually put an AI wrapper on it. And when I say AI wrapper, you were actually like indexing the data on a vector DB, which means, I know that's like crazy fucking words. What that means is we basically made your data queryable, and we can stick an LLM on top, and you can ask a specific data tied to your industry, and it will tell you, and it'll be able to find correlations in things like, hey, why are my clients not checking in on these dates? And you can kind of like start figuring things out. And maybe it'll encourage you, for example, as a coach, to build some sort of motivational campaign that's going to come up because you see this pattern every year. Maybe it's like you have so many people come in for New Year's, and then it gets to February and they start dying off. And maybe you need to figure out a way of keeping that momentum. Okay? That kind of stuff. And we can use AI to generate a lot of those insights, which is really good. And I'll happily get to that in another video. That's not for today, but it is something that I love specializing in, and I deal with my clients on a daily basis, is how we take, first of all, build some really sick software that really nails workflows, but also we're getting good data that we can actually transform using AI and actually build in a way that's going to benefit their business, and it's going to be proprietary to some extent, specific to their niche, and they can actually build something truly meaningful and useful that's not just some fucking ChatGPT wrapper, and it's not just some like bullshit vibe coded code. We've built with intention here, and we're building to address pain points, and we're building with robustness in mind. Okay? And as a result, we're able to go fast. I mean, it's been an hour and 5 minutes, and we have extremely good foundations to hit the ground running. And I haven't even put in all the rule sets that I generally would do. And there's so many more I'd put in. And we haven't even talked about security, and we'll get there. But this is like just showing you how much is possible. Like, there's so much you can do, and there's so much I would love to teach you and show you. But again, other video. Anyway, let's keep an eye on here. We're getting through our tasks on web. This is awesome. We're getting through our tasks on mobile. Okay, now once we got it through, it's checking for linting errors. This is awesome. Linting errors just like code quality errors. Once it fixes those and type checking errors, we kind of know that the app is good to kind of launch. I'm just going to trust it here. I'm going to hope if it runs into any issues, it'll course correct and fix it itself. Let's go look at the other one. Okay. It's already going through success notifications. These will be really interesting, and I hope it's using ShadCN throughout. It seems to be. Again, we might run into some errors when we run these, but that's fine. We'll tackle them. I'm not too concerned. I'm very happy at the quality of the code that's coming out, though. It's very easily readable. It's adhering to some of the rules we set, and we had very juvenile rules. With these LLM coding things, you can set up very strict rules. I didn't set up any of them. The only one I set up is to just do a git commit every time you make a change. So let's see. Is it making git commits? It is. Now, I should have said, hey, make it for mobile, but I mean, oh, maybe it's not. Okay, it's not. It's fine. I'm not too fussed. I'm going to say, hey, make sure you do your bite-sized commits, lol. And same here. Hey, make sure you do your bite-sized commits. Just to make sure. It's probably because it wasn't in the parallelized tasks and handoff thing, so I wasn't sure. So apparently this is live. So I'm going to come to localhost and see what we have. Okay. This isn't too bad. We got alerts. It's telling us Tom Brown is significantly behind in check-ins and may need attention. John Doe, Jane Smith, Mike Johnson. Okay. Well, what I want to know is what client am I? Okay, the refresh kind of sucks. So we'll take note of that. I'm not too fussed. Select the client. Okay. This is all right. I mean, we could build a better UI here, but I'm not too fussed. You can add new clients. You can view reports. It kind of went a bit crazy here. Not gonna lie. Okay, some of the stuff was a bit crazy. Show red, hide red. Show red, hide red. Mark all red. Oh, I see what I mean. I see what it is. Okay. You went a little crazy here. And I don't see all the users. Or do I? Are these seeded or hard-coded users? And can the details page be a ShadCN sheet instead? And can we reduce the over-styling and keep to ShadCN defaults? Components should always be ShadCN first, ideally. Okay, so I'm going to just do that, let it kind of tweak the UI a little bit, and then we want to get back to basics a bit. Let's see where we are with the mobile app. Okay, still going. This stalled. I'm going to cancel this. It should pick itself up again. You stalled, buddy. Okay. Yeah, you hard-coded, didn't you? We don't have any authentication. We don't have authentication in place, which is fine. So let's optimize for ensuring our endpoints update the demo client, who we will be enforcing on the mobile app itself. Okay. So I just want to be like, I just don't have authentication in place, and I won't get to it in this video. I mean, I could add it, but I just kind of just want to skip it for now. But basically just kind of bypassing that, so we can just expect that demo client at app is on this and coach is looking at this, and there's other clients, but we just want to see R1 come true. Okay. In fact, make it clear demo client's name is Imran Gardezi. Me. Yeah, that'll just be easier. Just make it clear it's me. Okay, let's see how we're at here. Yeah, you're doing well. You're getting there. Again, we kind of let it just one shot a bit based on our plan. Might have went a bit overboard. But that's where we can kind of just come in and refine. Once you get the things in place, it's fine. You can screenshot, drop it in, tell it what you want to tweak, and it's not a big deal. Okay. Please let me update the main. Yeah, that's fine. All right, we're getting there. Great day outside. He's building an alert system. Okay, we kind of went fucking crazy here. I mean, it's fine. We'd have to like tailor it and taper it in, but you kind of went a bit too crazy. It might have been because we had the phase 2 stuff in our PRD that I went a bit overboard, which is okay. We can always tailor it back and be like, hey, let's revisit what we wanted. Okay, come on, I'm coming here. Perfect. Now the system is probably configured with you as the demo client. Let me quickly update the API endpoints to use real database data instead of mock data. Yeah, I was mocking all that data that we were seeing for all these users, which didn't make sense to me. I wanted to make sure it's reading from the actual database, because this is important, because when we submit the check-in on the mobile app, I just want to wire it on the back end for the database, for the dashboard. Okay. Now the demo client should be me every time. Awesome. This is great. This is struggling a little bit. I wonder what's going on. Yeah, just do it as one commit. It's fine. It was like trying to partially commit shit, but honestly, just ship it, dude. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Install. The mobile app's fully implemented. All the app includes comprehensive alpha support, clean UI, and full integration with existing API infrastructure. To get started, users can run npm start. Yeah. Okay. Does install deps run with our start script? Just have that going. Let's see how we're doing here in the web. Okay, apparently we're done. I don't believe we are, but I mean, let's see what happens if we can just get this up and running. Okay. Okay. Start deleting some of our terminals here. I'm going to create a new terminal. We come out here. We don't need this left panel anymore. Or we do. I just kind of like wanted to see the things here. Okay. So bun run dev. Okay. Let's see where we're at. What's going on? No version of async storage. In most cases, one of your dependencies requesting packages. We have bad package versions, so you fucked up, dude. Okay, that's fine. Looks like we have dependency installation issues for mobile. Do you need support for me to find docs, or can you figure it out? I'm going to tag add expo just so it can leverage expo docs. The version number is in this script. Okay, version does not exist. You can use web, dude. You can always use, oh, it's already using web. That's awesome. As you can see, it searches the web itself, which is great. Dun, dun, dun. I don't even know if this mobile app is running. I don't think it is. Yeah, it's fine. It's not running right now. I also need to update the package JSON to remove the hard-coded version that does not exist. Yeah, you do. Okay. We're gonna close this. Clear. Bun run dev. You tell me when you're ready to go, buddy. Again, it's always good to ask clarifying questions here to AI because you never know like what the fuck it's doing half the time. Well, you do. You can read it, but I mean, you know, sometimes it just goes off a tangent, especially when we're using this in auto mode. Again, I'm not using the most clever AI model, and it's for intention. I chose to go this way just to see how far we could get with the dumbest. Well, I guess it's not the dumbest because I don't know what they use for auto, but generally I would just go for Claude 4. And auto is just faster too. So sometimes I like to just course correct it and have a bit of like, get my brain involved. Here's what I need to do. We need to install dependencies first. Okay, like why can't you just do it? So if I do npm, so bun run setup. Okay, installing the root dependencies. Okay, it says they're done. Bun run dev. Okay. Mobile apps dependencies not installed, running install script. Okay. Installing mobile app dependencies. Come on, please just work. Don't want to deal with this bullshit today. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let's open up. Why isn't this working for me? Come on, you can pick it up. There we go. It's just because I have multiple apps called mobile. Okay, tap to check in. Online check-ins will sync immediately. Okay, so if I'm offline, oh, I can't do it here, but remember what we said? We can take this, use my Face ID. Awesome. Okay, so we have that. We can tap the check-in. And as you can see here, what you see in the UI, I'm going to tap it right now. I'm going to type in my weight, 100 kilos. How am I feeling? Pretty good. Pretty good. And what's interesting here is we can't scroll up. So there's something wrong with the safe area view here, but that's fine. I'm going to fix that in a second. I can just tap out the area. If I hit take a photo, awesome. Hit take a photo, we got access to the camera. This is what we wanted. I'm gonna take a picture of, I've got a picture to set up here. So just gonna take a picture of this. And we've taken a picture of the photo. We're gonna use the photo. Now you can see the photo was in here. Okay, so we vibe coded the check-in form. We're gonna hit submit. We'll see if it works. Okay, it says it's saved offline. Your check-in will be saved offline and will sync when possible. So apparently we are offline. I know why we're offline. We're offline because our API is on our local host. And so this will actually work from the simulator. If the API was hosted on Supabase and Vercel, we'd be able to access it. But I'm actually going to enter it here. I'm going to enter the notes. Feeling good. Take a photo. You can open this up. Oh, failed to capture. Taking a photo on this is kind of busted, but you saw I could take it on mine. I'm just going to choose this photo. See what we're doing here. Submit check-in. Okay, I need to select my requested mood. We want this as a slider, but this is fine for now. Saved offline. Okay, so it seems like it's not going through. That's fine. I took a screenshot of this. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say, hey, where the fuck is my screenshot gone? Desktop. Or recent. Today? Oh man, where'd it go? That's fine. I'll take another one. $100. Save. Don't work. Choose from library. Gonna put this in. Choose. Submit the check-in. Okay. At least you can see we have pending syncs at the top. So this will be interesting once we get it working. Oh my God, it's gone again. Where did you put it? Oh, it's in my desktop. That's where the screenshot goes. I'm stupid. All right, cool. Okay, here is, okay. For some reason, it says we're offline when we try to save. Can the API handle photo upload? or what's the issue? So I'll let that go in. So that's fine. But what I want to do is just go to, because we can't really do much there. Let's just see okay, interesting. Prisma client does not exist in target module. Okay, that is good to know. Web is busted. Just copy paste that. So again, we see these issues in Next. It's nice. You can just copy the issue here, paste that in here, and it'll have the code path, so it'll just be able to point it to. That's fine. You can do that. Let's see what happened with the mobile side of things. But anyway, I think we're making good progress, which is good. Next hasn't reloaded the changes yet. Let me see if there's any other API routes. Okay. The DB exports DB, but the API is trying to find Prisma client, and the client is just creating its own instance. Okay. So it looks like there's a mismatch on both sides. So we're going to let this run. We're going to let this run wherever we are. Okay. It might have been a case that the API just kind of bombing out. Those can we upload images this way? Mobile can include an image, right? How is that handled? Just want to see if that can figure it out. I mean, this should be figuring out for us, but I just want to be sure. Okay. The API can handle photo URLs, but not direct photo uploads. How can we handle photo uploads on local? Will this work? Supabase local. So I'll make sure this works in Supabase local. I think it can, but I'm not sure. If it can't, it's not a big deal. I'm not too fussed. I just want to submit the check-in. Oh, it's sending local file, but first I need to upload the image. Okay. And store that URL. Let me create a proper image API. Okay, so we need a new API endpoint so we can submit the image, save that, and then update the mobile app to handle this correctly. So it's probably going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, once we get this in, I'm pretty happy. I think we're in a good place to just say, hey, yeah, this is kind of done. The main thing is I just want to see that the dashboard is loading my check-ins so we can see that. And I think we're almost there. So again, this is just like I said, this is all that it takes to kind of like iterate and go back and forth and really build out some fun coding workflows. To be honest, you're kind of all over the place a lot of the time, but I mean, that's not that big of a deal. Okay. This gives you a production-like photo upload system that works perfectly. Okay. Are we missing anything? Can you ensure we are safe to go? Let that go there. Just let it double check. I always like to double check. Okay, perfect. Let me restart the development environment to ensure the storage bucket is created. Yeah, please do. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Are all our ducks in a row? Okay, we're 100% ready to go now. So let's actually see if this is true. All right. We're going to close it. We're going to clear this. We're going to delete this. We're going to clear this. We're going to run dev. Oh, I'm actually kind of excited. Let's see how this works. Because if this works, then somewhat end-to-end full platform product, or full product platform, I guess you could call it. Not really, because we're not hosted, but you know what I mean. It is exciting that in like an hour and a half, you can get that framework up. And then if you think about it, if you put in if this was only 8 a.m., it's now 9:30, you can go out and you can go for breakfast. And you can come back. And if you stayed at this for 12 hours, how much fucking progress you could make is insane. So this is the world we're in. And look, I won't lie, it gets way more complicated than this. We're obviously in honeymoon phase where this is like super fun and super easy, but it will get more strict. And look, if you're building something and you would like to, to bounce some ideas, I'm always open. My ears are always open. I love to chat. But anyway, this is up and running. Let's go. All right, cool. So I'm going to open this up. So we got our local host here. Let's see our web app. Okay, we got our web app in here. Okay, now we're getting some internal server errors. Interesting. So we're not quite good to go just yet, but I mean, we're almost there, hopefully. Looks like some internal server errors on our dashboard. And let's see, if you're savvy like me, you will be able to tell that there is, yes, see, internal server error, recent check-ins, client list. We can tie these to our API routes, okay? So there's an internal server error, that's fine. I'm gonna pull these in. There we go. This looks wrong to me. That's not right. I'm gonna copy these. Copy all this shit. Seeing these errors on web, localhost 3000, what's up? But that's fine. Let that do its own thing. Let's check mobile. How's mobile doing? Okay, tap to check. Oh shit, so the sync completed. Does that mean that we're in the database? Because that'd be really fucking cool. Okay, no, not here. Table editor. Let's go check-ins. Yes, semi-completed. I mean, so that's good. That's really cool. Our offline mode sync worked. As soon as we got online, I was able to pull it in and put in our stuff. Now the issue is the files that we uploaded are local files. It's not a bad thing, but it just means that our dashboard has no indication of being able to use these because it can't pull these out. What we need instead is for those files to actually come into our storage here. We have the URLs here, and then that way, web app can read it, mobile app can read it. We don't have that in place. But I think that's just because when we created these files, it was different. So if I choose a different one, and I do this, and I say this, and I say 100, and I say notes, how are you feeling today? This is my web storage test. Submit my check-in. Oh, check my mood. Yeah. Check-in has been submitted. Apparently. Let's see. Oh man, it's not here. Shit. Well, we were hopeful there. Let's see where it's stored. Clients, check-ins. What did you store it under? Okay, I'll put that in. Looks like I mean, it's fine. Like, we're getting somewhere, but it's just kind of annoying. Looks like we are actually still storing the image URL on mobile check-in as the local storage instead of using the API URL we created for our endpoint to store on our local Supabase storage. So yeah, that should hopefully fix that. Let's go back in here. Unless it's still implementing. Are you still implementing? Come on, buddy. Oh, maybe it is still implementing this. Let's see. No, it's not. Okay. Fucking come on. Here we go. See the issue, mobile app is trying to use API upload image, which doesn't exist, and it's not using the correct upload logic. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not too concerned. I just want to see that our dashboard actually works. Yeah, our dashboard works. Cool. Well, that's awesome. All my stuff is coming through in the dashboard, which is great, right? Awesome. Let's figure out a way of... Let's actually do this here. Awesome. Awesome. I see my stuff. Can you show a thumbnail of the image as well as a column value, and when clicked it expands and loads in the center of the screen like a pop-up. Yeah, just so we can click in there and see our images a bit better. Okay. Because again, check-ins are here, but I don't see any images. But again, my images aren't uploaded, so I can't see them. So it's like a bunch of annoyances here. But I mean, we can tweak this UI as much as we want. I know we're starting to run out of time here, but just showing you how creative you can get here. Okay, implement web features. Come on, buddy. I've gone way too fucking big in this context window. Okay, apparently this should work. So tap the check-in. Going to reload, because just in case. I'm gonna open up this. Tap the check-in. Tree 100. How are you feeling today? Pretty good. This should actually save on Supabase. Choose my library. Then choose this one. Choose here. Submit. Oh, we got interesting. What happened here? Upload failed. Okay, so we got an upload failed. Why did we get an upload failed? Let's check that out. Go to property blob doesn't exist. Okay, so our logs are telling us, so it's good. When we run all this, we see our logs will come up. So even though I tried to upload there, we're going to get server logs in our terminal here. So I'm going to be like, hey, upload failed on mobile. Okay, cool. Let that run. Thumbnail should appear. I mean, we won't have a thumbnail, but let's see. Fuck you anyway. Create client. Why are you using Supabase.js? Oh, you need it for the photo URL. That's fine. Oh, stinky. Please fix. Yeah, I bet you can see the issue, for fuck's sake. Again, sorry for the cursing. Let's just go ham. The thumbnail appears on the right side of the check-in entry. Yada, yada, yada. I'm just done with you, buddy. Continue previous discussion. What the fuck is this? This is an old one. Don't need it. Implement mobile feature set. Already done. Then web feature set. Now we're just bouncing around in here. Let's get to the bottom of this. Okay. Issue might be that the storage bucket doesn't exist yet. Let me modify the upload API to create a bucket if it doesn't. Yeah, you're right. We don't actually have a storage bucket. I remember seeing this. We came in here. No buckets available. Buckets that you create. We need to create a new bucket. Can you create that proprietary? Or, sorry, can you create that in code, Mr. Tingy? If I create, should I just make it for you? I can do it now. Tell me what to call it. Yeah, this should be okay. I'll make it public just in case we run into some issues. Doesn't matter. I'm about to delete it. Okay, it's done. Awesome. Yep, created. Let's fucking go. That camera better not die on me again. Because the web server might have crashed. Of course he did. All right, we're almost there now. So close. I mean, we're doing it, it's pretty nice. I mean, our check-ins are coming true, which is great. Just this photo URL thing will be perfect. And then we'll wrap it up there today. All done? What is that about? Okay, cool. Okay, we're getting to the end of the road. The fuck is that about? What are you doing? Let me start the full development environment. Yeah. What do you need to do? Okay, so bun run dev, let's go. We're hitting the ground running. It's already running. It's fine. Okay. All right. We're got Supabase up. We haven't got localhost up. Okay. This is the last. This is it. This is the end of it. And then we built something. Okay. Awesome. What is this little picture? Don't know. Doesn't matter. It's because we haven't actually uploaded anything. I think that's fake news. Tap the check-in. I'm going to enter my weight, 100, tree. And then choose Daft Daisies. Let's give it a name here. Oh, upload failed again? Why, man? New row violates row level security policy. Of course it does. Oh my God, way to make it hard for us. We don't want it. Can we turn it off? Can we turn it off? Or no need? Or no need to turn off, right? Wait. So we had an RLS issue, which is just like a security issue basically there, because we're trying to upload via this, but with the service role key, we can bypass that. Now service role key is basically saying, hey, I can do whatever the fuck I want, God mode at the database. So this should be up. I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to not do this. I'm going to do this. Please work. That seems okay. Okay, we'll know if we can refresh this. Awesome. Here we go. All right, guys. There you have it. There we have it. We have a mobile app that can check in, and we have a dashboard app that can load the client's stuff. Obviously, we can spend some time giving some love to this, but you've seen what it takes to go end to end here. And if you really want to style this, again, hop to mobbin.com, get some sleek UIs, throw it in, copy paste, vibe code with the team, and you can go back and forth here, and you can go really, really far. Now, step 5, you want to launch this. You've researched, you've validated, and you've picked the stack. You've built the first features, and now you want to launch. This is where most founders stall. They wait for perfect, but perfect never comes. In 2025, you do not launch once, you launch every week in tiny loops with tiny pushes and tiny conversations. And here's the playbook. Your outreach is going to consist of you DMing about 20 people. Hey, do you want early access? Then you're going to film some content on your journey and share 20-second clips of the features you just built. And every single time you release these, you're going to ask every user for one question. What's the most annoying part right now? Once you get that information, you're going to be able to stack rank these, and you're going to know what you need to tackle next. And the best part about this, you've automated your roadmap to solve your customers' problems live, and they're doing the hard work for you to figure out what to build. And obviously, once you get to the point where there are no more roadblocks, that's when it's time to iterate the next feature set, because now you've got robust software that's solving the customer's problem, that's keeping them happy, and they're going to be sticky and not churn. Now, if we swap markets again, for all this content sharing, again, for a CRM, you could just post something like your pipeline view. For scheduling, you could share your one-click booking flow. And for payments, you could show the fail charge dashboard. Again, you're communicating the value, showing it to the users that, hey, I've built this, and the principle is identical every time. We ship, we share, we ask, repeat. SaaS in 2025, again, is not about being first. It's not about perfect code, and it's not about raising millions. It's about these 5 steps of you researching, validating, picking the right tech stack, building, launching, and closing that feedback loop. If you do this, you will build faster without burning out, you will solve your customers' problems, and you will actually build a product that people want to use because you're listening to your customers and you're building solutions to problems that people actually have. So that's SaaS in 2025. You're going to research before you code, validate before you scale, build before you polish, and launch before you feel ready. And this isn't about building hype, and it's not about grinding more hours. It's about being smart and building leverage with your expertise, your understanding, and your ability to solve problems in the market. So if you've got an idea you want to launch, this is the playbook I would run with.